I'm trying to drop it. Drop it at the same time. Drop the tweet at the same. Oh, you ready? You went live already?
Yes, I am alive.
I'm looking at the
Okay.
page. I not seeing us live.
It
Oh, there's two. I'm looking at.
yeah, it's
Uh,
one's for vertical and one's for
oh, okay.
yeah.
I got you.
Oh, I need to do this. Okay, there we go. Should be live now. All right, let me do a short intro. All right, well, greetings everyone. Welcome to our interview with the goated creator Kuro the artist. I'm pretty sure everyone knows him. Like, this guy's a literal inspiration, man. So you can,
Man, we can still give him his proper flowers,
Hey.
man.
of course.
Oh, it's all good. I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks
Thanks for having me on.
for coming on, man.
Yep.
Yeah, and my co-hosts. Well, we're all. Would I? Yeah, my co-hosts, of course, Fanboy Wonder
Dude.
and Ramen Retro.
Yo, what up? Yes, co-host.
Yeah, so if you for everyone who has been caught up to our previous streaming saga, we've been watching 5YL and now we're completely caught up. Well, Dan's been caught up since the comic dropped pretty much. So we are completely caught up now and we just want to yap a bit about the series as a whole and probably some other Ben 10 stuff. Maybe we'll talk about some absolute Ben 10. Depends on where the conversation goes. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop a few in the chat if you didn't see our posts beforehand, and we can move into a few of them right now. So
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what do you guys got for me today?
who wanna ask first question? I mean,
I want to ask first question.
okay, go ahead.
go ahead.
Uh, when did you first come up with the concept for 5YL? Like, what was your inspiration for it?
Oh man, it's kind of a funny story. I used to do art requests on Facebook for free before I thought of the whole commissioning process. And it was actually fellow Ink Tank member Fro the Bro. He requested me to draw a picture of Ben 10 and Danny Phantom together. This was like 2014, 2015. And ever since
Ooh.
that, just the image of them
Yeah.
started clicking to me. I think I did like 4 or 5 more just random illustrations of them. And there was something there, I felt. But the ambition truly came when I wanted to do a comic. And I wanted to do something that it could feed into at the time when the Go Ghost Again movement for Danny Phantom was like at an all-time high. Ben 10 was starting to really get a little bit of traction online. Um, Again, not quite since the Goku video. I feel like that kind of flipped everything on its head.
Yeah,
For the
that shit.
better.
Yeah, that video you made, it literally
Yeah.
like it turned the community into like an actual community again.
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
came out the woodworks talking about
Yeah.
Ben 10.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
what year was this, by the way, yo?
This was I was thinking about it. I think I actually started trying to make it in 2016. But the
Oh.
comic dropped April 3rd, 2017, during Danny Phantom's anniversary. And I made the Goku video low-key just to promote the comic. I wanted to create something that seemed like it could put
Mhm.
Ben 10 out there. Because at the time, everybody knew Ben for classic Ben. Like, just,
Mhm.
the 10-year-old Ben, he times out. He's got like 10, 15 aliens. And I felt like Ben's capability, it needed something to really push like the wide variety of what he's able to, and power scaling was really popping off at the time too. So I was like, what if I made a power scaling video on Ben 10? It would not only, this is more about the video than the comic, my bad. But
No. It's fine, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's good. We want to
in
know.
my mind they're kind of the same thing in a sense of like what really started the journey. Like I made a video that I felt would give Ben a better view of who he is as a character and his abilities, while also trying to give 5YL a bigger spotlight. Because at the time, like there was so much more buzz on Danny Phantom than there was Ben 10. It's
Really?
almost
That's
the opposite today.
See, I was a youngin when you did all this, so I don't remember I don't remember how Danny Phantom was popping back then. But what you say makes a lot of sense. You make the video, you might have not known if it was gonna blow up like it did, but it blows up and it helps kind of set up for your comic. Like I said, people familiarize people with Ben 10 before you be like, hey, Ben 10 comic for y'all plus Danny Phantom. So that makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense to me. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I feel you, man. That was like that's kind of crazy. Like the best ideas sometimes just like come up from like some simple conversations because like that sounds like if I was to like imagine how you came up with 5YL, I would have believed you if you told me like I it was divine intervention. I got it in a dream. You know.
Oh no, I it was the core of the story, and I always say this, but it's always challenging to really talk about it until it'll finally be over next year. Because the purpose of 5YL was I wanted to tell this specific story, and I was like, well, how do I get there?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, 5YL is the final 2 episodes. The first 12 episodes, 12's coming out next month, are just to basically get the audience to trust me enough as a writer to like know these characters. I love these characters so that I can tell this final conclusion to the story, um, and make it feel like it's gratifying enough for being a fan of Ben 10
Mm-hmm.
or Danny Phantom, and not just like, well, here's this random multiversal doomsday event that stars Ben 10. Here you go. So it was a lot of building towards this one. This is 5YL. This is the story. We got to get there. So we start small, and
I,
develop the characters and raise the stakes episode by episode.
I
Totally.
I want to say you really nailed the portrayal of like Danny and like Ben 10. Were you like writing? Were you watching Danny Phantom or Ben 10? Were you like writing notes down on how to like their characteristics and how they would kind of because they vibe really good and they vibe really well together.
Yeah, I definitely studied their personalities a lot. When doing research from 5YL, it was more about like their verbiage and certain ways they would phrase things because I feel like phrasing is very key.
Mm-hmm.
But just from growing up with the shows, I felt like I knew the characters very well. I just had to figure out how I was going to communicate that knowledge and respect through these characters. Like, would a character say this or that? And like, sometimes I'll run into a scenario where I want this character to do this thing or say this thing, and I just can't figure out how to get it to make it feel like they would really do that. And at that point, I ask myself, well, maybe they just wouldn't do that. Like, I can't force it to happen. So I would navigate the story in a way that felt true to them. Like, if it truly feels like I can't get this character to be this way, I'm just not going to do it because that's not who they are. They wouldn't say that. They wouldn't do this.
Yeah, I feel that, especially like dipping my toes into the writing scene as of recently. That is such a real like thing to say. It's kind of like when you're writing and you get stuck on that one piece of dialogue and you just can't like make it work. It's like it eats at you. That, that
Yeah,
that's kind of why that's kind of why I decided to like because kind of like what you said in the first part of this question where you wanted these first 2 episodes to be as like a trusting exercise. See people will trust you as you finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, which by the way, I trust you boys after watching episode 7. Like as I was reading the book at first and foremost. Like, once we got to that chapter, because like okay, when I was younger and I read it, I'm here for the hype and aura. You feel me? So I'm like, this is cool
Yeah,
shit. Man, my
yeah,
two
he
favorite
kept.
characters are together. But bro, when I read that comic, I'm sorry, I don't remember what the chapter name is, but I'm just gonna refer to this episode 7. When I read episode 7 as a kid, yo, that clicked to me, bro. Like that's when I realized that like I gotta start studying this stuff, bro. Cause it was like, yeah, like I think that's like a defining chapter where I realized that like the people behind this know these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that comes a lot from really, really taking your time to learn them, however you went about it. 'Cause like I said, I think I need to it's funny, I'm turning into a little other thing too. But going back and like kind of studying like every single episode, how they talk, yada yada yada. I ran into a couple times where I wanted to put in a line or somebody will be like, "What if they said this?" But to me, it's like I don't feel like that's what he would say at that moment because especially with the version of Ben, depending on what you work with, some things are kind of outdated for the character. Like we're not writing 10-year-old Ben. We have to kind of like stick to that the age he is and also try to like incorporate those other parts. And I feel like it's especially harder for you because you're working with a Ben we've never seen before. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. That is also part of the challenge. And first of all, I'm so glad you liked episode 7. That's one of my favorites too. I think
Yeah.
7
Well, we loved
Seven
it.
and
We wanted to
eight
watch it.
battle in my head as my favorite episode for those reasons. But it's like, yeah, like I mean, if I started 5YL like with episode 7, it wouldn't hit nearly as hard because you didn't get to see all these different flavors of the characters when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're angry, what they've been through, what they're capable of. So building that foundation is just as important, even if it is a continuation off of previously established IPs. Like, Ben 10 has hundreds of episodes. Danny Phantom ran for 3 seasons. But now that I'm writing him, like, I not only got to continue their stories and make it feel like them, but at the end of the day, it's a fanfic online. So I have to build that trust. Like, this isn't just taking from the previous show and applying it to here. I want to give you something from myself from the ground up. So when episode 7 hits, and the future ones 8, 9, 10, the ending, it has more gravitas because it's all built within 5YL.
Yeah, especially because some people, man, you really got to get people to understand where you're coming from. Because some people will look, even like you said, it's fan made, but still people expect like a certain expectation, especially from y'all now.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's tricky sometimes. Like the higher the expectations go, I never want to dip. But I do try to pull the brakes on certain things, like especially because this is an indie project. Sometimes when I'm writing the story, I'll like want to go to a location or do a certain thing, but then I'm thinking, okay, well now I actually have to do that. I have to draw the background. I have to design what this looks like. Do I really want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
No. That's why they fight in the desert.
Hey, shout you up for that. Because when I be talking to my artist too, he be like, "Thank God you didn't do that." He be like, "Thank God you took it easy on me." It's so fucking real. It's like I'm glad that you are also a writer and an artist because it's nice to hear like those type of things. Because some people may find it as I don't want to say lazy, but I always like to call it smart. Especially after I watched your breakdown, which plays into the question I want to ask. Watching your breakdowns, I realize the little I don't want to say shortcuts, but the little things you do to make it easier on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. And especially because nobody actually cares about any of that. I've never once read 5YL. I'm like, man, get them out of this desert. So that's definitely that's so real.
That's so real. I like your breakdowns, Kuro, because you didn't just you talk about it, but you also point out little animation errors here and there, like. And I like that too, because you can see where they were like, I didn't feel it today. Like I like the little animation errors you point out, man.
Yeah. And I think it humanizes these projects a little bit too. Like it makes them feel possible.
Yeah.
Like when you see errors, it in a good way, sort of, it snaps you out of be like, oh, somebody still had to draw this, they animated this, and you can kind of deconstruct it and almost be inspired by it. Like, well, how could you prevent that from happening?
Everybody's human.
Yeah.
True.
I love animation errors. Like I find them very interesting. I'm never gonna fault someone for making an animation error, unless it's like completely ridiculous. But like you'd really got to be pushing it for it to matter. If you have to pause to see it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What was the most ridiculous animation error that you've seen from Ultimate Alien, Alien Force, Omniverse?
That's a great question because honestly, I catch so much. I stopped keeping them in the breakdowns because I felt like I was getting annoying, like pointing out all of them.
I feel like, for me personally, I feel like the biggest one to me that always bothers me is the Heroes United one to upgrade. I don't know if that really counts.
Yes, that's a big one because
that one always bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah, it matters, and especially for Rex fans, you're still learning about Ben. You're showing Upgrade full center in frame, no Omnitrix badge, and then for people who've been waiting years, because Upgrade wasn't around for years. He wasn't in Alien Force. He wasn't Ultimate Alien. This is people's return to Upgrade. You're gonna forget the Omnitrix badge, like front and center. That's kind of a big deal. I'd say I'd agree with that one. There's one. It's not really animation. It's just more of continuity. I feel like continuity errors. I have more of a problem with animation. Like when they reuse transformations from Alien Force in Ultimate Alien, and you can see he still has the Alien Force Omnitrix in the transformation, even though he has the Ultimatrix. Stuff like that. I feel like it gets me a little bit. But I mean, it's again like, are they really gonna reanimate that whole transformation again? Maybe,
fair.
But I don't know. I don't blame them.
Yeah,
Is it cool if I ask my question? My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off, Big Gray.
No. Go ahead, man.
So since we're already on the topic of the breakdowns and stuff, which another shout out to you. Ever since I started watching your breakdowns, I've like picked up the ability to notice animation errors in any show I watch now. So I got to get that to you, bro. But my big question for you, because
Oh boy.
I've been watching back the breakdowns along with my rewatch of the show. Like when I'm home, I watch the show, and then when I'm at work, I watch the breakdowns. And a thing that came up when I was watching your breakdowns was in the episode Paradox. I feel like is in one of the Paradox episodes. You mentioned how much you liked how Ben 10 kind of like the rules of time travel in Ben 10. So when we watched Five Way Out, I kind of picked it up that that's a strong piece of continuity that you included in your comic. So I want to ask you, like, how do you go about incorporating like the show's continuity into your actual comic? Like, what are some things that you like? I gotta include that. Or I gotta pay respect to that. Like, how do you go about incorporating those elements, and making them work so well? Because how you put it in Five Way Out, I mean, I was like, damn, that still fits the show's continuity.
Uh, it really depends on the inspiration for why I'm including something. Like sometimes I'll have something in the story that I need a problem to be solved. And the first thing I'll do is I'll look to the continuity and is there anything that already exists that can help solve this issue? Like when I needed the main heroes to find a way to track Vlad through the multiverse and then go through the multiverse. It's like, well, okay, what are we working with here? Portals to other worlds. There's the null void projector, but you've got to be able to track something. Oh, Gwen knows magic, runes from Ledger Domain. So Gwen's like, I got the runes from Ledger Domain. Kevin's got his null void projector. You put them together, it solves a narrative issue, but it also pays respects to the series. Same with a lot of Future Fenton's gadgets. Almost every single thing that Future Fenton does is from the show. Like there's the
Yeah, don't you
Spectre
have
Reflector belt.
the ecto converter? Oh yeah, the belt, but isn't the ecto converter on there? Yeah.
Ecto converters on there. Rex's nanites are on there, so Future Fenton actually
Yeah, he
makes a
makes
lot of
the
Rex's
BFG.
builds. Yeah,
Love the love the
BFG.
generator Rex. Love generator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's one more. I think I have Future Fenton use the battle axes, one of the Omega ones, in episode 9, and I will tease that more show up in future episodes. I try to small tangent.
heard it
but
here first.
I try to include as much Generator Rex stuff as I can without actually having to
Thank
use
you.
Rex. Because I love Rex, but having Rex be there, it would add a whole dynamic that takes away from everything. It's already very tricky having Ben and Danny's story.
That's smart.
Yeah, but to circle back to your question, sometimes I also just try to throw in inconsequential references just to make the world feel bigger. Like in episode 3, they didn't have to teleport in front of Max's building, but they did because it familiarizes Bellwood for you. Or Rook using one of the plumber ships, or mentioning Jimmy offhandedly, Jimmy Jones. But I never wanted to feel like I'm doing it just for the sake of doing it, especially because it eats up time and this takes very long to make already. Like, why would I waste time on something that really has no payoff?
Yeah.
Unless it is easy, like throw in in an And Beyond episode when at the end of the Magic one, Horus's portal kept changing, and I was just throwing clips from a whole bunch of random stuff because it was easy. So you also got to balance the practicality of it too.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Kelly
yeah.
with fan service type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, speaking of fan service, like here's my question that I've been like dying to ask. Like what really influenced your design process in the Five Wild Omnitrix? Because it's so unique, especially since like I've been like reviewing lots and lots of like fan created projects and everyone has a different Omnitrix, but yours is it's so closely knit to the original series, but it's just so different. So like what really influenced like your process in like making it like that?
So I did want it to be the Omniverse Omnitrix, or at least like a slightly upgraded version of it. Like it's been 5 years because again, this is Ben Prime. I didn't want to just make my own Omnitrix design regardless of anything that came before because it needed to feel like Ben. So the first one, the square one, was very restricted in the design process because it needed to be the Omniverse one. But I never cared for the way the Omnitrix worked in Omniverse, where you do all the alien selection just on the touchscreen, and then the dial reveals itself just for Ben to smack it down. It felt a little redundant for me. So I was like, well, I wanted to actually use the dial again so it has a function. Because the whole dial is just a button. And then you know
Yeah.
for the toy areas, they can't even do that. There's no Omnitrix toy out there that actually functions exactly like the Omniverse one. So I was like, I want there to be more tangible buttons, things to interact with. I want the dial to be usable again, but it still needs to be the Omniverse one. For the Powerhouse playlist one, I wanted that to look like if the Omnitrix had a human transformation, what outfit would it give a human? So it's like not cloth, but like the clothing texture that the aliens have. It's all just sleek to his skin. There's no buttons at all. To emphasize his mental control over the Omnitrix. He does everything through his mind now. It has the little wires on it just to make it look more like the Omnitrix, but essentially it's kind of an exaggerated version of like the Omnitrix using Ben as a human transformation.
Ah, wow. I never thought of that. That makes sense. That makes sense. I
I
do have a
like that.
follow-up. I do have a follow-up
Sure.
question. I was searching your wiki the other day when I was doing my video about like Fan Omnitrix is fighting the Omnidroid, and I saw that you guys have a monster playlist and Manzardil playlist. Does the Omnitrix change for those as well?
No. So it only really changes for the uniform mode or any other cosmetics. The look of it isn't really tied to the playlists. Like Ben can use uniform mode without having to be locked into the Powerhouse playlist or the Monster playlist or any of that. So that's more of the like what skin is Ben using on the Omnitrix. The playlist doesn't really change the appearance of it.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Maybe a dumb question too. I mean, we're talking about Ben 10. Does he have
He
access
said
to
no
10?
question too. He called
I don't
Greg
know.
that a question stupid.
No, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe. Does he have access to any of the ultimates?
No, not currently. I'm sure if he really bugged Azimuth and like for some reason Azimuth was swayed by Ben, he could add the feature back, but it's just the Omniverse one didn't have ultimates to begin with, which means giving him ultimates,
Fair.
it would have to be a choice. And thinking about it practically, I can't think of a real reason why Ben or Azimuth would add ultimates back into the Omnitrix.
Yeah,
true.
I don't think
Hey,
he'll ever get that back.
W idea.
Some of those ultimates are made. I
don't-
like Ultimate Echo though. That
I
one's
think
pretty big.
ultimates are definitely like cool when they're not used by Ben. I think they're much better
Yeah.
as an obstacle
Albedo?
for him to overcome.
Like they're better on Albedo. I feel
Yeah,
like they
any
fit
villain.
Albedo
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, if they would have let what's the dog the Nemetrix give it to that Albedo anybody but Ben.
He did
It's
get
an
the ultimate
obstacle for him,
function.
bro.
He did get the ultimate function. He used it on the Splixon.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the Pronunciant. Yeah.
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 Hey, good job, Omniverse.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, he typically has access to basically all of his aliens. One thing I will clarify is when he is activating the Powerhouse playlist, he can still use his other aliens. It's just those ones are locked and they become unlocked, but it doesn't limit him to the Powerhouse playlist.
They're locked. Why?
Just in case of any contingencies, like if someone's able to somehow mind control Ben, or if Ben for some reason was like morally corrupt, it would be like an extra contingency
Oh.
to have to go through. Like if Ben was just one of these days was like, I'm gonna turn evil, and somehow they were able to get word to Azimuth before he just, I don't know, turned into Alien X and blew up the universe. Azimuth can remotely like disengage Ben's ability to unlock the Powerhouse playlist. That's why he needs a passcode for it. He could change the lock. So it's more of a self-imposed thing that Ben had, where he was just like, if for any reason I'm compromised, like through magical means, mental means, technology means, if he's possessed, they cannot have access to these aliens.
It kind of reminds me of the key situation he had with Alien X.
Right.
Where he had to be unlocked. Did you pull that from there?
Honestly, no, but it seems like such a strong connection. I'm surprised that wasn't the reason I thought of it. But yeah, it's essentially a whole playlist version of that, except Ben has the key on him himself.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's smart.
Yeah, but like if Ziskare possessed Ben or something, Ziskare doesn't know the code, so he couldn't unlock the Powerhouse playlist.
That's smart.
I like that.
I feel like that's a very Ben thing to do too. Also, because like the whole Alien X thing, I feel that
Yeah.
that also plays into his character as well.
What other bad guys in Ben 10 can even hypnotize him. Like besides like
Subliminal weak ass.
Yeah.
Subliminal.
Oh, well,
Has he made an
you know, so
appearance in
if
Ben?
Subliminal ever came back as something.
Oh, you mean? Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
somebody in the franchise in general. Yeah.
A bigger watch, is that what he's gonna come back with?
Yo,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy if Subliminal was the one that ever knocked Ben off.
Yeah, him of all people. Yeah, he comes back with
that's
2
so funny.
watches this time.
Yeah, man, his stocks would be up. His stocks would be way up.
Doing what Vilgas came. Subliminal.
Yeah.
Y'all mind if I ask a Danny Phantom question, or is this like a Ben 10 only stream?
I'll take anything.
Yeah, shoot, dude.
I'm a big Danny Phantom guy. Really big Danny Phantom guy. Like these two shows were like my bread and butter back then. So I really like I really like how you handle
Where'd that
Danny
come
in
from?
Yeah, like you have a
I got
soundboard?
the seal of approval. I really like how you handle Danny in this. Like, one of my favorite things about his character has always been the fact that like he's not really like that enthusiastic about his power sometimes. Like he will get rid of him if he can, you know. And I like that you acknowledge some of that with him just like not going ghost, him like being unexperienced and stuff like that. But what I want to ask you is, what was the inspiration to give him these awakened forms? Because they really do remind me of like like a Super Saiyan transformation, if you know what I'm saying. Kind of like that
Yeah.
whole ordeal, like the power up thing. And I'm a sucker for those. So I want you to take me through how you thought to give him these and expand on his ghost powers in a way that I think is pretty organic for the character.
So the awakened forms came from a need to show visual progression of these characters evolving their ghost abilities. So circling back to what I said earlier, I was thinking, well, what's a canon way I can explain it before I try just making something up? And a lot of the ghosts in Danny Phantom have such a wide variety of appearances and abilities. Like you'll have very human-looking ghosts like Poindexter, Ember, Johnny, Kitty, box ghosts. Then you'll have like monsters like Vortex, Undergrowth. What's his name? The nightmare guy with the stars.
Nocturne.
Or whatever. Nocturne. I always forget Nocturne.
Shout out Nocturne. It's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Season
So-
3 not that bad. Season
so I
3
was
not that
like-
bad.
Season 3, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yo, shout out you, man.
So I'm thinking like, how are all these ghosts? Like, how does that make sense? And then like even in the first episode, there's like these like amorphous green blob squid things, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a ghost, but also
Yeah, there's tons of
dead
like
people.
ambiguous ones, like that are just like, you know, like the squid ones or like just like the regular human looking ones, but they're still just like regular green blobs.
Yeah, but they're still ghosts. Like they're still all the same category. So thinking about just how ecto energy works in general, which seems to, for all intents and purposes, just be a MacGuffin. Like it can literally do anything that you need it to do, and you just believe it because it's ecto energy. So I've kind of tried to piece together the logic of ghosts with these abilities and how they're all the same thing. So I was thinking, well, maybe, I don't know, if you die and you're just dead long enough, just decades upon decades of corruption from ecto energy will eventually turn you into a monster or some type of creature. We broke it down a little bit more in the Ghost Zone and beyond, but essentially all the monstery ghosts are either just people who have been dead for like 10,000 years and just turned into this thing over time, or ecto energy just became sentient itself. So it's able to evolve you into these monsters and creatures. We even see that with Dark Danny in The Ultimate Enemy. When Danny's ghost half and Vlad's ghost half fuse, you know, his skin turns blue. He gets
It starts
pointed
cracking
ears and a silver, like a snake tongue. His hair's on fire. So I was like, well, I mean, I guess there you go. Like, the stronger Danny and Vlad get, they would mutate just by how the show seems to present its logic. So I was like, okay, well, great. Well, there's my answer.
Even Vlad himself looks like a bit different from Danny. It's like when Danny goes ghost, he says his pupils, like he still looks human. While Vlad, he takes that more, you know, he doesn't look like he does in his human form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He has like vampire teeth and all type of stuff.
He's kind of already like steps way ahead of Danny in terms
Yeah,
of that. Like, you know,
Yeah,
he's been
he got
going
his
ghost
powers
for,
years ago.
yeah, about 25 years now. And in an artistic sense, again, it's just like a visual indication. Like, Danny literally is stronger now because you're seeing him mutate and evolve, and starting with his first awakening form. Every episode he changes because he's ever growing. He can't stand still. Um, and he's becoming more ravenous because you evolve based on your emotions, which I actually thought was interesting because I came up with that concept years ago, and then A Glitch in Time came out, the novel, and it basically said the same thing. So I thought it was fascinating that we both came to the exact same conclusion independently based on the show of Danny Phantom. So I feel like that really supports like a lot of the lore and theory behind Ecto Energy and 5YL, because I know a lot of people have a problem with it because they're like, oh, they just made Ecto Energy OP so that Danny doesn't get outclassed by Ben 10. And I'm like, I don't know. If that sounds like you just haven't seen the show.
Ecto Energy's pretty OP.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
I
man.
honestly thought you did a good job both explaining it in the comic and in that like response video you made. Cause yeah, they do some crazy shit. I explained it to Great Matter in the stream about some of the fucking crazy ghosts there are.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
caught that clip.
Yeah.
I was telling everybody before we went live. I watched through a fair amount of all of your streams, the past 3 ones, watching 5 Whale, so I can get a better idea of your thoughts and everything going in. And yeah, you sound like you pretty much had a perfect understanding on where I was going with it. So, and just a final note on the designs. One thing we were trying to be cautious of is we still wanted Danny to look monstery in every form, but we still wanted to connect with him. So I still wanted him to have a slightly human face, which kind of limited some things. Like sometimes you'll see him like morph into like a dragon head or something. That happens in episode 12. Or like he'll sometimes just like get temporary things, but he still needs to, like, when he's thinking and feeling, just reading his facial expressions was still important. Versus Vlad, I don't want you to really understand where he's coming from at all. He's very closed off. He's not one to share his opinions or emotions or thoughts. So his awakening form, we were like, well, we could make that look like anything, because I don't want you to read his emotions that easily.
Yeah, that's why he just straight up a DBZ villain, huh?
Yeah, yeah, he's got the hair for it.
Yeah, I love it. I love a lot of your designs, but yeah, I think, see, if you watch the stream, you probably heard what I said. Look, man, like I said, you're the go, you're the artist.
Say it. Say it.
But what? I don't really have anything to say, but I definitely like his in between form, where he gets like the fire hair that Dark Danny has, and he has like the elf ears. But when he fully crashed out, it was like, that's a monster, all right. I don't know. I think it's just my own preference,
It's supposed to look a little rough. It's not supposed to be like an ideal form. I think that's the part of it. Like this, you shouldn't look at this and be like, oh, this is how Danny Phantom should look. He looks so cool. Like for like he's by those forms, he's so far removed from his original design. It should look odd and uncomfortable because he's losing everything that makes him himself, mentally and now physically.
Yeah, he definitely look. He definitely look like himself.
Yeah, he's pretty monstrous. Like, man, these segues are just coming to me. Speaking of monsters, I have like 2 questions, but let me ask the first one, and it's about Aeon. Firstly, like, I really want to like give you your flowers on like how you wrote the backstory, and then just like Aeon's portrayal is like 10 times better than anything we've gotten from the original series, in my opinion. I really love the portrayal, but I wanted to know, of all of them like overpowered rogues gallery members that you could have chose, why choose Aeon to be like the main antagonist for 5YL?
That's a great question. He sort of seemed like an easy answer for because for me personally, I love time travel. So it's my favorite sci-fi concept of all time. Any time travel movies or shows, I already like it 100% more than I would anything else. I love time travel. So when I saw Race Against Time, I was instantly attached to Aeon, and I always thought he looked cool. I liked the helmet. I liked the purple orbs. I thought the actor did a fantastic job portraying him, despite the film he was in. And I always liked him. So when he showed up in Ultimate Alien and then later Omniverse, it was fascinating because it's like live action going to cartoon. That's cool, but it stripped away everything I liked about him pretty much. Like, now he's not an alien. Now he doesn't have like a cool outfit. Now he's a lot less. He's he's not even anything I liked about him in Race Against Time.
Now he's just
So
been with a receding hairline and a grudge
Yeah.
yeah, so
and a very ugly jaw.
he was chosen to
True.
sort of be like, I want people to see Eon how I see him. Like when I watch Race Against Time, that's the Eon I see. And I feel like he deserved better treatment, and he just kind of made sense. You know, he can go across the multiverse. He answers a lot of questions I would have had. Well, if I wanted him to team up with a Danny Phantom villain, how's he gonna get there? Well, Eon can just do that. So yeah, Eon made
Fair.
the most sense. I don't even think I considered anybody else other than Eon when thinking of Ben 10 villains.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, who else could you really like choose? Mount Truant,
Yeah.
but like, who cares about bro?
You got
Yeah.
He's
got
also cooked in a time loop, so
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
about-
You have to account for that in the time loop. Like, is Maltruing going through the whole events of 5 years later in addition to the time loop? Like that, it felt like a stretch.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even
yeah.
thinking about
You
that.
you what I love about 5OL is not you just don't you got like villains from like Danny Phantom, and you got like Ben 10 villains. You got like fucking Tech. Was it Techness?
Yes, technically.
Techness. You got Skulker, bro. You got like a clock. Is it Clockwork from Danny Phantom? Is that his name?
Yep.
yeah.
You got and you nailed every character portrayal correctly. Like everyone's like how they're supposed to be, and I really enjoy it. Especially like the Techness. I know he's voiced by, is it Gilbert Godfrey in the original series?
No, it's
Or
funny.
no.
It's Rob Paulson doing a Gilbert Gottfried impression.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a good impression. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
Rob Paulson. He also does Jack, and then in Ben 10 he does Ditto and Patella. So that's him.
Oh my
Wait,
god,
what?
Yeah.
dude, I was so tricked. I thought it was Gilbert
Oh, wow.
Godfrey.
Yeah. No, he does so well with it.
Yeah, that brother got some range.
Yeah,
Dude.
Technics is super fun to write for because he's relevant enough in his abilities and what he can bring to be a part of the story, but also kind of be a breather from all of the chaos going on. Like you need a little bit of levity.
You know,
He's like the Dr. Animal of Danny Phantom. That's how I see him.
Yeah, he pretty
Yeah.
much is. He's the joke villain that always shows up. You can't get rid of him, yet he can still give a decent challenge every now and then. So he's
Yeah.
and I love that. But he's also, at least in 5L, he's voiced by Jonah Scott, the same one who does Divinity. So we'll do sessions with Jonah where he has to be like the very serious Shakespearean Divinity. And then he's also Tectus, like screaming his lungs off, laughing maniacally. And that's a testament to Jonah's range too. So he doesn't
You're-
Shout out him.
you're-
I did not know he
Dude.
did both of them.
Me
Yeah,
too.
Like
voice-
sometimes I forget to look at the credits.
we
And so like who do we think was the voice of somebody? I thought Divinity was voiced by somebody.
Killian?
I thought it was the guy who did Kevin. I think.
Yeah. That was
So-
what you were saying. Yeah.
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 You got
'Cause
yeah.
one stream we like paused and we were like admiring like the entire voice
Yeah, we were
cast.
going through
We're like holy shit, dude. And you're like the voice for Invader Zim was insane, dude. It like I was like, wow, that is the best Invader Zim voice
Yeah,
ever,
it was spot
man.
on.
Yeah, that. Speaking of Kevin, that was Andrew Russell. He does Kevin and Zim, also very contrasting characters.
Yeah,
his
see, I
range is
didn't-
Incredible.
Oh my
I'm
god.
guessing the wrong people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Andrew, he definitely came in very, very hot with his performance because he did voice Zim once in an official project. He voiced Zim in the I think it's Smite. I'm not super familiar with the game, but there was a game.
Oh, that
where
video
they had,
game?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
they had
characters
Zim as
and-
like a guest character, and
Oh,
Andrew did
yeah.
the voice for Zim, so he was already familiar and everything. I think we did
Shout
the
out,
least
bro.
amount of retakes with Andrew because he just knew Zim.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about Zim, yeah, if I'm cool to ask my question,
Mhm.
look, what really inspired you to? Because there are references all over 5YL. One of my favorites is, of course, the my boy Zack Saturday on the screen and like what are early chapters, and then the big like hero shot of the Nicktoons Cartoons Unite thing.
Yeah.
But what made you put Zim as a sort of like a sort of third link to everything? Because maybe it's just because I like Invader Zim, don't hate it, but maybe it's because I wasn't really like that high on it. But how did you come to that crossroad to really put him in here?
I'm not gonna lie, I love when I get this question because it's of all the things I do in 5Whale, this always seems like something like people target a lot, which I can understand it, but I also find it curious. To answer your question first and foremost, the motivation was way back when I was starting 5YL. It was supposed to be like a legacy platform for shows that didn't end with the respect it could. You know, Omniverse lost its last 30 freaking episodes to a dead time slot that
The good
most
old
people
6 a.m.
never even
time.
turned
Mm-hmm.
into.
Was
Yeah,
it
and
6 a.m.
Omniverse
or
was
it was 10? Yeah.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
EST.
Oh
So like
shit, God.
3
You
a.m.
either
for people
going
that
to
live in
school
California.
or you're getting in them coal
Yeah.
mines, brother. You can't watch the show.
Yep, and no advertising at all,
That
and like 5 new
sucks.
episodes a week for like
The
6 weeks.
DVDs also didn't come out,
Mhm.
so it was
No
awful.
DVDs, and Omniverse of all shows was always like fighting pretty hard to get the love and respect the other shows did. So it was the least popular show and got the worst treatment. And Danny Phantom got canceled. Thankfully, it was canceled during production of season 3, so they could write a
A little bit of a
finale.
proper ending.
Yeah, but people
Mhm.
hated that finale, and you can definitely tell there's a lot of threads unanswered. Valerie's storyline, the Fright Night storyline, all of them. And Invader Zim was kind of in the same boat for a bit. It lost a lot of episodes in production. It also had a big fan campaign behind it. It was canceled prematurely, but it also had a strong fan base. So I wanted to include him to sort of pay tribute to that.
Okay, I can
But
respect that.
I didn't want him. He's not a character. He's not a character that
Oh
needs like
shit.
a big storyline. He's a character that's sort of an asset to the story. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, Zim doesn't have a big role. Why do you even need him here? If you watch his show, he doesn't even really have a big role in a lot of his own episodes. He's kind of just reacting to what's happening or like accidentally doing something. Like there's the germ episode. The whole episode he's trying to kill germs. So he's a very silly character, but the
It was
strength I found
kind
from
of the
him.
main.
Sorry, what's up?
I was saying Dib was kind of like the main.
Yeah,
in
it
a
was
way.
kind of Dip Show in a way.
Yeah.
But he was someone who I felt like was an asset with his availability. Like I think for one, his base being their home base was a pretty important thing because on their own they would either have to build a base or find a base or steal something. And this Zim's
And that
gullible
eats
enough for
time,
them
you're
to just trick him into being like, let us crash at your place and we're on your side, wink, wink. And Zim's like, oh goody. So he was an easy
As long as
fix.
I can do evil.
Yeah, exactly. And where are they gonna get a giant ship to suck a dwarf star? Zim probably couldn't get one. Like it just made sense. And I do hear a lot of the criticisms where it's just like, oh well, he doesn't need to be in the comic, but I mean, nothing that needs to happen in the comic. Gwen and Kevin don't need to be there. They don't even need to go to the multiverse. If you want to dig really deep, they don't even have to cross over. Like so, I
Yeah,
see.
man. You should
I
have
see the
put
criticism of like,
Rex in that spot.
right? Yeah, it's
I don't.
it's like
I don't.
I didn't have to do anything. So like what I see like, oh well, you didn't need to put Zim in there. I don't see that as a valid point. If it was
No.
like Zim was there because he takes away from the story, I could validate that if that's how it was for you. But if it's like based purely on necessity, I don't know. I don't.
No,
I
no.
don't think.
I
feel like
I
definitely.
Oh, sorry.
My fault. You can go. Look,
No. We probably will say the same thing. I was gonna say, Invader Zim kind of it breaks the. What I love about Invader Zim being in it is like there's a lot of serious moments in 5L. Invader Zim being in there kind of like breaks the pacing and kind of adds some humor and some jokes before we get back into like the serious stuff. So I kind of like the Invader Zim stuff. It would be cool if he like teamed up with Box Ghost or just like had some more like Dane Phantom like comedic villains in there. That'd be fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, I think the one thing I feel I wasn't ready for with involving Zim that is the weakest part of it is actually Gur. He's like a silly random like or like early 2000 like lol roar I'm a dinosaur kind of humor, like that kind of stuff. But it's very tricky to write for without it being like incredibly obnoxious and cringe. And like you could say like that's the character, but I feel like Gur he did it in a way where it was like he was like setting the standard. He wasn't just feeding into it. He wasn't the stereotype. He like created the stereotype. So I always found him challenging to write for. And he's such a vocal character in the show. And in 5YL, I almost never have him speak because I don't want him to say something that's out of character. It's a very
and that
weird
could
line.
probably like conflict with the tone of your story.
Yeah.
People have a
Right.
meme will probably meme it because it's very You're all right. People will
Yeah.
probably meme that.
Yeah, so whenever he speaks, I want to be like very sure like this is something Gur would say, and it's not so ridiculous that it makes the whole episode stupid. Gur can be stupid. I don't want him to make 5YL stupid.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think Zim is included like to the point where he's not intrusive. My problem was always just it's kind of like it just kind of was like threw me it catches me off guard a lot of the time. So I think that's
Yeah.
my issue with it is like what the fuck is he doing here? So, but when
Yeah.
you lay it out like that, it's kind of like a way to do these characters justice after they were done unjustly. I can definitely respect the fact that you threw him in there to kind of coincide with how he was done in his by the network and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always a big Zim fan too, but just not on the same level as Ben 10 or Danny Phantom. So he's in there as much as I felt like would make sense.
I know
Yeah.
he gave it a Nicktoons Unite kind of vibe, and I love Invader Zim. I think it was it Globs of Doom. Invader Zim had like the best like interactions with everybody in that game. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Zim growing up. I like watched it when I got older, when I was like 16 or so. So well, it's a cool show. I like the addition. It felt kind of random, but now that you kind of explained that, it's probably one of
Tell him
those.
how you ain't watch Danny Phantom either. How about tell him that?
Do I have
Yo,
to?
Gray.
Yeah.
That's how
great.
it's been.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's pretty tricky to find people that saw both shows. Like
Really,
yeah,
bro?
that-
I'm sorry
from my
because
experience.
like I always kind of like put the two together, but watching 5YL, I really put them together because it's like they have so many like, and I know you probably love this. They have so many just like coincidences. Like both have pocket dimensions. There's another one that I caught during our watch that I can't remember, but both have pocket dimensions,
catchphrases.
time travelers, and all type of stuff. It's like the two shows are kind of like what are like brother and sister who aren't related because like they're not under the same umbrella network. They're like stepbrothers or something.
Yeah.
Like they kind of have
shows.
like they have
kinda
like their cousins. They're
cousin
like 'cause
shows.
they have a lot of similar elements that it kind of like it's kind of hard to like ignore. I will never forget when you made like the Ghost Zone and the No Void sort of like intertwined because that's such a smart thing to do because like they both just have those. They both
Yeah.
just have pocket
We
dimensions.
give
and
you
they
credit
spin
for
their
that.
pictures.
That was really smart. We gave you credit for that. That was actually
Thank
really smart to connect those two things together.
I was wondering about like your influence about that. Did you like, well, I don't know if you wrote it when Heroes United came out, so that because we kind of have a similar kind of connection with Rex's universe and Ben's universe having like the null void thing. I was wondering if that influenced it. We were talking about it on stream, but here I am getting to ask you.
It was kind of like the Ultimatrix key thing. Like it wasn't the direct inspiration for it, but it justified it. It was mostly just about Jack's portal, like to the Ghost Zone. I was like, well, why can't it only go to the Ghost Zone? Like maybe it can go other places too. And then just thinking about, well, how am I gonna get it to go to Ben's world or even the Null Void? And I was like, well, Cesar randomly accessed the Null Void and he wasn't even trying to. So like it seems like the
They don't
Null
even
Void
explain
is
it.
like a
I just said
Yeah,
bro
it-
smart as hell. So you can
it just seems to be like an easy place to access, like when you're kind of
If you
just
have-
opening
if you have
up
high
the
enough IQ.
multiverse. Yeah, so it was helpful and justifying, but it wasn't the initial inspiration.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
anybody
sense.
else got a question or can I throw one?
I do have one
No.
more question. It's about
Oh yeah, you
Eon.
didn't want to forget that.
It's another one about Eon. It's don't forget your question, dude.
All right, had
it-
it on me all week.
It's this one's about the ultimate function Eon. I thought the fact that Eon's game plan or his win condition to fight Ben was for him to literally force himself to go ultimate. I found that to be really creative because I think I love the ultimate function. It's good and bad. I love it. I hate it sometimes, but it's a really creative addition to the show. I like the point that Dan made where it's like use it as an obstacle for Ben rather than giving it to Ben, because sometimes when Ben gets it, he uses it and he ends up making the ultimates look stupid. But why did you resort to using like ultimate function Eon as his game plan? And then the next thing to that is like, why'd you make him so damn overpowered, man? Because he's just he's just crazy.
It's that's a tricky question before the finale's out. But what I can speak on is a lot of what characters like Eon or just reality warpers out there, when you start to really think about their powers, it's like, oh well, why can't they just go back in time and fix everything, or like why can't they just like create more food so there's no world hunger? And an interesting setback that they gave Eon in Race Against Time, I thought was fascinating, is that his body deteriorates. So he's searching for Ben to replenish him. And doing that over and over and failing for like 4,000 years is not working. So I've pictured him shifting his goal, or at least adding it onto the step is, well, if every time I use my powers, my body turns into dust, how can I stop that from happening? Like, that needs to stop. Then I can use my powers freely. And that, it always circles back to like, well, what could I do with a canon solution that would be fascinating but also make sense? Going ultimate sounds like the perfect solution for counteracting his weaknesses. Once you go ultimate Eon, then he can do whatever. And then it's like, so what would a reality warper look like with no limits? And I want it to be very creative in a sense that like whenever you see like overpowered characters, like they can get more powerful, they can warp reality, but it usually just comes down to more physical feats. Like now they're punching, but they're punching harder, or now they're shooting a laser, but this laser can blow up a planet. Like I wanted to show more reality altering things, which you'll again be seeing in later episodes, to really demonstrate his power, and then also stack up against that. This is how Divinity sees Ben in Alien X. Like Divinity is downright insulted that Ben won't just turn into Alien X and save the day. And it is a little bit inspired by like the meta of fans saying the same thing. Like, why doesn't Ben just turn Alien X the same way? Like sometimes when I'm writing Divinity, I think about what would the Ben 10 community say here? Like, okay, yeah, now it's time to use Alien X. Just use Alien X, dude. And Divinity wanted to turn himself into somebody who can push Ben to make that choice, because it's clear that Ben's not going to do it. It will be the absolute last thing he would ever do, especially at this point in time in his timeline in 5YL. So Divinity's like, if I'm going to even try to get him to become Alien X, I need to get that out of him. So that's up to him to become that kind of person.
Really interesting.
That's a great way to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, because like, hey, the Alien X stuff's some of my favorite stuff in 5YL.
Yes.
And honestly, like when you say that, I do kind of like think to myself the last time we see Ben use Alien X in the prime timeline, and it was when he fought another celestial sapien. So putting Divinity putting himself on that like that type of level once again plays back into the show kind of. So fire.
Yeah. And he also needs to be that powerful too to truly prevent Ben from stopping him.
Yeah.
Because like it's also sort of to like answer the question too. This does lead a little bit into the true inspiration for 5YL, which I've touched on, but still want to wait till the finale. Is like, what if Ben really did use Alien X like everybody's begging him to? Like, what if he was just like, you know what? I don't care about the morality of it. Like, if I can turn into God and snap my fingers and prevent all evil, what would that story look like? Or at least like, how could I tell a version of that story in the show that doesn't seem so far removed from the canon? So it's very much inspired by like, Ben has Alien X and he never uses it. We always hear, oh, Alien X, he's so powerful, he's born outside the multiverse, he can blink reality away. I was like, okay, well then what does that story look like? You wrote it. Are we never going to touch on that? Are we never going to see Ben with Alien X on that level? I kind of want to see what that'd be like. So that's also another inspiration, is creating Divinity.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
I feel like
be there. You would be
I
there
know
with
you,
binoculars.
bro. I know you. When I talk, I don't know you, but like when I talk to you, when I talk to you about my comic, you told me how you relish in the character moments. And after rewatching episode 7, chapter 7, whatever it is, if you're taking the approach that I think you'll take, I might get the ink tank Dick Rider comments again, because I'm so geek, bro. I'm so fucking geek.
They're gonna be somewhere in this chat. I do have to tame my glaze though. I do want to ask about Divinity, just to satisfy
some of the things I said in one of my older videos and one of my problems with him. Who came up with the name and the God Maker thing? Who came up with all that? Was that you?
The Godmaker. I know it wasn't me, but when I heard it, I loved it.
I like it too. I like it too.
Because I thought it was. I thought I liked the name. It was either I know Insane Main was working with us at the time. He's the one who designed it because we wanted to design it as early.
I don't know.
as
Insane Main. I see a lot of his art. That's my guy.
Oh yeah, he's super good. We wanted to design it as early as episode 4 so you can see it on the Technis's monitor in Zim's cave, so that we can be like, look, see, we're not just making this shit up as we go. We planned this. So it was either him or it was Ash too. It kind of sounds like an Ash thing where we didn't have a name for it and we just called it the Godmaker. I was like, you know what? Why don't we just call it that? That sounds awesome. So just something silly.
It's definitely silly and cheesy. Like honestly, because like it's one of those things where like, no disrespect, of course. It's like so bad it's good in a way. Like I'll be like, he really became a god through the God Maker. That is
exactly. I feel like I like naming conventions like that sometimes. Like I mean, even some of Ben's aliens like Goop, or Upgrade or something. It's just like it's so mundane and simple, yet somehow that's what makes it fascinating to me. Like we didn't call it like the Ultra Mega or wherever, or give it like, you know, like
fancy science fiction-y name.
Yeah, the Heaven's Cradle or some shit like that. We're like, no, it's the Godmaker. You know, it's just it's exactly what it says on the tin.
It's exactly what it says when you purchase it at the Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the name.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
This one's a compliment and then a question after it. So, I want to say you really cooked with that Ben 10 Goku or Saiyan transformation or whatever. I want to ask, how'd you come up? I know there's a video you made on your channel about like what would a Saiyan alien be like or something like that. I want to ask, how'd you come up with like the final the final design for Ben as a Saiyan?
So it's one of those things that it's kind of a nothing answer. I didn't really think too hard about it because he wasn't created to be in 5YL. So, you know, sometimes when I'm drawing, I just think of like little things I want to do to make it more personal. And I was like, you know, the Saiyans are aliens, but they still kind of look like humans aside from the tail. What if we gave them more monkey features? So when I made a video about can Ben 10 turn into Goku, I drew this picture of Ben as a Saiyan for fun. It didn't even make it into the video. I just posted it on my socials. And I was like, well, I'll give him the pupilless green eyes. I'll give him, you know, more like a primate-shaped face, more hair on his face. Just make him look a little bit more animalistic. And somehow that blew up. Just that one image of him. Like, people became very attached to it. There was fan art. I saw Minecraft mods. I saw CGI molds. I saw
You're in the models in Mugen. I play Mugen a lot. Like somebody actually made a Mugen model for that, which is pretty cool.
It was.
Hey,
that's really cool.
That's like one of my favorite like pieces of art from y'all. Low key, Monkey's whole concept.
Right?
Is it a peak version of the character, like Goku?
Of a 21-year-old Saiyan. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if there's like a 50-year-old Saiyan out there, you know, like that's always the thing is like Ben becoming the peak alien is still always relative to his age. But yeah, so he just like became the most popular 5YL alien. He wasn't even in 5YL. I didn't even call him a 5YL alien. I just kind of drew him. And then we were doing episode 9 and we were still coming up with the Powerhouse playlist. I left like 2 or 3 slots open just in case. Like I was like, oh, we'll come up with something later. I was talking to Hershey and he was the biggest advocate for saying we should put Monkey in the comic. And I was actually very against it at first. I was like, no, that's way too random. That's gonna break the illusion. People are already giving me shit for putting Zim in there. If I put a Dragon Ball Z Saiyan in Ben's Omnitrix, this is gonna break the story and everyone's gonna hate
you want to know what's so funny because that's literally me you talking about. I was like Zim, but when he bust out that Saiyan, boy, I felt the chills down my arm, especially when he trained, like when he got the rainbow hair. I love it just for the fact that I like to see it as like both your works coming together, because you sort of take it, not to dig at Goku, but you sort of like putting Ben in that ring with those characters that sort of
Yep.
blew your video. Like that's how I like to see it as, and I feel like that's really why I love the inclusion of Monkey, because I feel like it's also I feel like when it comes to like people who talk about Ben versus Goku, it's always like so like everybody wants to just like be right. It makes this big deal. But I kind of like the fact that you, in a way, have them come together, and like I think that's just like that's so dope. And I
That's
like how
awesome.
you also, it also seems like I don't really hear you talk about anime that much, but I would assume you or somebody at the internet knows a lot about DBC, because I like
Mhm.
how you included a lot of the natural Saiyan features like the
You,
tail, and
Mhm.
then I think
it's
when he
based on
goes,
Super Saiyan 4. Yeah, like the
yeah, when he
transformation. Yeah.
transforms again, he doesn't really he goes from like, he still has like the Super Saiyan 4 stuff and then the colored hair, kind of keeping like the things that are natural to the Saiyan's heritage instead of like any of the other stuff. Like I don't think there's a touch of God in there or anything like that. So I you cook,
Yeah,
bro.
that no, I appreciate that. Yeah, that was pretty much the motivation, like how the conversation went. When Hershey and I were talking, he was like, it's this is like your legacy. Like this all started with the Goku video. So thinking about it like that, I was like, you know what? I could put the Saiyan in there as like to honor the longtime fans, because the longtime fans would know Monkey. Monkey was already popular before he even showed up in the comic. So longtime fans would get a kick out of it. New fans, if they didn't see it coming, I can deal with a little bit of the uncertainty. And then we made the and beyond episode to explain it. As for his sensu form, we call the Super Saiyan form with
I was
the
gonna ask you. I
multicolored
was gonna
hair.
ask you what,
Yeah.
because I don't feel like it's I forgot what it's called, or if you even said it.
Yeah, so
Sensu.
that also kind of is explained in Ambi. We basically use Ambient to explain stuff we don't want to do in the comic because it would take away from the story. But I was like, I already knew Monkey was going to be compared to like, well, is he as powerful as Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4, God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super
Megiddo
Saiyan, all of them.
Triangle?
Yeah, so I was like, I don't even want to do anything close to that. I was like, I want to give him a form that is so obviously not any of them to like show you this is an alternate universe Saiyan. This isn't
Mhm.
a Dragon Ball Z Saiyan. This is, if the Saiyans were born in Ben's universe, they're different.
Yeah,
So
I
his
think.
we call it a sensu form. It's got like Super Saiyan 3 hair, but it also has like a stripe of God Key, but it's still got like a Super Saiyan 4 build. So it takes elements from all of them to show you it's not any of them. It's a completely different thing.
I love that you did that into it. So they're just having him look like, sort of like an obviously like unique Saiyan, but like have it be like the DBZ Saiyan. It's like he goes from like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna start Super Saiyan 1, 2, go further beyond. Instead, you kind of like made like a combination of them.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
streamlines the his concept and his design too. So I fuck with that heavy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you went with him instead of like a Kryptonian or something. I would have been boring as shit. I love Superman, but like
Yeah.
the D like the
What would
that
you call him? What would you call Superman Ben 10?
I mean, I feel like the obvious answer is just Ultra Ben. Like it would be.
Oh, yeah.
It
Of
makes
course.
sense.
You
Okay,
gotta
that's
throw the
pretty
reference
cool.
to the
Yeah.
show.
Like wish
Yeah.
fulfillment. Like I finally get to be Ultra Ben for real. Like he would just be Ultra Ben.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But yeah, I like the monkey transformation. It surprised me because I've been following the channel for a while, but I wasn't like chronically online as I am now, so I didn't like know about like the monkey transformation and I
Throwing
didn't
a
watch
shot
the
at
And
everybody?
Beyond episode either. So it's like when it showed
Yeah.
up in 5 I was like shocked.
We're
It's
binging all of
very
Beyond.
random. If you're just getting into 5YL, but I was trying to be pretty careful with it. I tried to write them where it was like not like hip like even though it's very weird to see a Super Saiyan show up, especially this late in the story, it wasn't to a degree that it would affect the plot. So I was thinking like I want the scene to be like you can kind of imagine any alien being there and it would work because it at least at this point in the story it doesn't matter who Ben is. So I didn't want him to
Yeah.
become a Saiyan.
He
And it
just turned into
stops the
strong
plot.
aliens.
Yeah, and it's like yeah, because that's kind of the whole thing, especially with how Divinity sees it. He's literally just waiting this out. He's like, please give me Alien X. I'm so sick of all of this fodder. That's the mindset Alien X is. I'm not Alien. Divinity is in. So, it was written very open ended, and then we just filled in Monkey there,
Yeah.
just to make fans happy.
Like I said, I feel like it definitely works, especially because of how like as 5 definitely continued, it kind of became less of a Ben 10 and Danny Phantom. This is what they were focusing on, and it kind of expanded his universe more and more. So when you lead up to the more obscure things, while they can be a bit jarring, it still feels like it belongs in a way.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always the goal, especially with characters like the Orion Squad who are completely original characters. Like that's also kind of like in the same vein as like Zim, where folks are like, well, why are these characters here? They're also just supposed to expand Ben's story just by their own existence. Like these five heroes are only doing this directly because of Ben. So like this is the influence he has. So anything they do, any danger they put themselves in, it's because they're following Ben's lead, and it becomes a reflection of who he is and how he affects people. Like he
Yeah.
inspired these people to like get so involved they came into the multiverse and are now in a battle they have no business being in, terribly outclassed. They should not be here, but they did it because they thought it was the Ben thing to do. And
Yeah.
understanding that and thinking like this is the way like everything Ben does just by existing affects the whole universe,
Hmm.
like just everything he does, which is also builds on his motivation for not wanting to use Alien X all the time, because like if people can be so influenced by his actions that they change their whole life because of him, they're living examples on exactly why Ben has such strong morals, because everybody looks to him already, even if he doesn't want them to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the Orion Squad. I don't remember what I said in my review video about it, but I personally didn't really care. I don't want to say I didn't care for them in that, but they never took me out of the story. They weren't something I vehemently disliked or complained about. And
Yeah.
I always hear you say that now. It once again plays into the way of how this is an extension in a way of the Prime continuity. Because Ben, like you say, he inspires people. Like they're here because of him, and that's already happened in the show with the LeBowen plumber that shows up in the
Yeah,
Galactic
Scout.
Monster Art that you just watched. Yeah, Scout, listen to that. Yeah. So I definitely I never understood that conversation about the Orion Squad. I always chalk it up to like when it comes to like fan projects, especially ones that get as big as yours, even one as young as mine, where people are expecting something, or like they really want to live back in the show again, especially because we haven't seen it in a while. And I think that's why a lot of like these new ideas and stuff always get like so vehemently trash for some reason. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think the Orion Squad are fine. I just think people just like want to see actual stuff, mainly from like Ben 10, or the little people want to see Danny Phantom stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's certainly a big part of it. It's just like the more I focus on anybody other than Ben and Danny, people just want more Ben and Danny.
Yeah,
But I still feel like it's important because like like whenever Ben's talking about the universe or reality or the people looking at him, it's not ambiguous. Like we're not just picturing just some random schmuck out there. We can
yeah,
picture tangible people. He's talking about Lula. He's talking about Crunch. When he's talking about what he means in the world, there's people in the story to show you exactly what he's talking about. And then, again, in the later episodes, you see the Orion Squad interacting with more characters who aren't even from Danny's world. Like she gets involved with what's going on with Danny and Vlad and Future Fenton and everything. And you can kind of see that a lot of her influences and actions are because she was taught by Ben. She became this person and was able to make these changes and say these things because she was taught under Ben. So it's like Ben's part of the story, even though he's not there. Then we can't pan over to Ben and we see exactly why he's standing so hard on his beliefs, for better or for worse.
I feel like that's such a crucial thing to get right, especially with a character like Ben, who everybody likes to paint Ben as this larger than life character, which in a way he is.
He
He
is.
is
Yeah.
he's the protector of Earth. He's known all across the universe. So I think that's definitely important to have those tangible beings there to help display that. Even sometimes in his mind, where he may not recognize or outright mention it, he has impacted the lives of basically everybody, even people who he hasn't even come into.
Hmm.
I feel like that's the
Yeah.
way to definitely show the characters, to further expand on the character, because he goes from getting medals from people he never met in season 3 of Alien Force, and like the show makes him like feel like this big grand character. He's not like a vigilante who was like barely unknown or just affecting his town. Like he is a universal hero. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
again, some more glaze for
And
you.
doesn't he have a statue in Ben 10,000 or something like that?
Yeah,
of
he
The
him?
Ben
does.
10,000
Mr. Hero of
statue,
Heroes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that in Five Whale that hasn't been made yet. I did tease a
Okay.
little bit that Omnitrix City is being developed, but I imagine he doesn't get the statue until he is like fully the adult. Like he has the Ben 10,000 title.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gotcha.
We're in that in
Uh,
between moment from
Yeah.
between like Omniverse and Ben becoming that Ben 10,000.
Yeah.
I got one more question. I feel like we should probably after that probably like answer some fan questions. I think people have you guys down for that.
Sure.
Well,
'Cause we
Gray,
have
do
a
you have another
bunch.
question? Because I feel like, yeah, we
I-
can do
wait,
one more round from all of us and then open it up.
Yeah, I have one more question.
If
I have
anybody else.
one question. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
sure.
one question, and then yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let me start the round off. Do you plan on bringing Tucker and Sam into the mix at any chance? Because I know you had Sam in maybe I think the first episode, and I think when Vlad did that fake out, which was really creepy, by the way. That scene right there was insanely creepy. Are you gonna bring them into the mix at any point to help out?
The short answer is I don't like answering who will appear or not.
Okay.
But I do want to say that no matter who does show up, there will still be a few surprise more characters making an appearance. But
Okay.
Already know, baby. Jazz
yeah.
is future Phantom. Already know, baby. I read the script. I read the
We
script.
kept-
the
yeah, we
influence
kept
of
saying
these
that.
characters, the influence of these characters definitely play a part in who Danny is and his journey. And it's one of the things. It's another criticism I hear about the series pretty awesome. At this point, I'm just addressing anything. Is like how it feels like there's not enough Danny Phantom in this story.
Yeah, I feel like I've said that
I
about
never
him.
hear that there's not enough Ben 10 in the Heroes United crossover. So I feel like the character presence really doesn't have as much sway. Because, like, I would argue Heroes United feels like a very balanced crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exclusively
It
built on
just takes
Ben.
places on Rex World.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Rex's
So-
world. But they do enough with Ben and his character, and I don't like blaming the audience for like how they perceive things. I don't like telling people how they enjoy or watch things. But I do feel like when I see Ben 10 fans watching this who haven't seen Danny Phantom or vice versa, they just kind of focus on the parts they're familiar with and don't pay too much mind to the other areas. And then that's where that empty feeling comes from. Like, Ben 10 fans will watch this, look at the Ben 10 stuff, and be like, well, why the fuck is Danny here? Sorry, can I swear on here?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're good. You're
we're
good.
not we're not PG.
Yeah.
We're not PG,
Like-
man.
Like we, you know, Danny is just
Hey,
kind
that
of
word every
here
couple seconds, boss.
when this is
Yeah.
Ben's story, and I'm like, did you see episode 11? That whole episode was about Danny and like his internal, his
Yeah.
thoughts and everything. It begins with a flashback of him and Sam. I don't think putting more Danny Phantom characters in the story is really going to solve anything.
Yeah.
In terms of just like physically, is this person going to show up? I don't think that would change the story I'm trying to tell. And then
enough,
I'd have
yeah.
to draw them. So
They also don't really Sam and Tucker don't even really fit in this story. I don't remember what I said in my review video a while ago. I feel like maybe I said Danny's the main character. I know I gave somebody the title of like main
No,
character. I don't
I
remember what I
said
said it back in my review video.
Danielle. I said Danielle Phantom could probably be like, is
But
that her name?
nobody's asking for her like Danielle. Like the people who make sense, like I can understand maybe a Danielle, but like people are like, where's Sam and Tucker? I literally seen a comment about that in our stream. But like, what do you want them to really do?
Yeah, there's nothing
Like,
for them
what,
to
you
do.
want her to shoot the video with a gun or something? That ain't gonna do much.
Yeah, man.
I think your flashbacks. I think your flashback, especially in episode 11 and all that stuff. I think having them live through Danny works. So although I think you should throw my boy Tucker like a little bit, you should throw him a lob too.
You gotta
Because
give
really
him-
just Sam and his family.
I will
But-
say you might be seeing more characters than we've introduced. I just want to be clear. I'm not just putting people in here just for the hell of it. Like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where I'm at. And I also don't like spoiling who shows up. I
Fair
think
enough,
a lot
fair
of the
enough.
fun
No,
is- yeah, a lot of the fun is not even knowing.
I just wanna say, that shot with Danny's dad gave me fucking nightmares. That shot was so good.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
he's like mutated, dude. A+ work, man.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
horrifying.
that was really fun. I think that specific still, yeah, that one was drawn by OR Ash. He did a couple of variants on it,
Shout out
and
Ash,
then
man.
in the
Yep.
motion comic he was puppeted by Crystal Moon 101. She's able to like literally puppets, like take the images and move them around and everything. So whenever it looks like a
Oh.
frame might have a little bit of extra animation, more often than not, it's Crystal. In the past, in episodes 12 and 13, I've kind of figured out how to do some rudimentary things on my own, and I save her the time. But it's mostly her like adding the really cool animations
Yeah, she
to the
cooks.
characters. Yeah.
She did a
Yeah.
great, yeah.
Shout out Chris. I remember her from your Secret Saturdays video.
Yeah, same.
Yep. Yeah.
I left her and her birds.
Oh yeah, those birds are a part of every call we ever do. I always hear those birds.
So I mean, Gray, do you have another question? Because
Yeah, it's a really
I might
short
hold
one
mine.
about the
I might hold
power.
mine. We can get straight to the Q&A chat thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's about the Powerhouse playlist. I wanted to
Mr.
talk
Power
about.
Scaler over here.
All right, like I really just like how like they just sectioned off like aliens and stuff. Like I'm a big Omnitrix guy. I like to talk about the Omnitrix a lot, and like I really I liked the design of like the Void, but I kind of wanted to know like what like I watched the short that Orash made on it because I think he was the one who like originally like came up with it. But I wanted to ask you about like what made you decide that well, no, we asked that already. The Void, I really like the alien. I really like the alien, man. I wanted to know like what are your own like thoughts on like the Void?
So the Void was created by OR Ash. He created about when he joined us like 10-15 different pitches for the Powerhouse playlist. And
wow.
the Void was the most interesting to me because it was just this horrifying nightmare of a being that I just thought was so absurd. It was hilarious. It's kind of like the exact opposite of the worst. In terms of like, the worst is like, what's the worst alien we could think of? The most pathetic, cute looking alien. The Void is like, what's the most absolute nightmare-ish, horrifying, like, demoning creature we can make Ben turn into?
It's Topic.
Yeah. And Ash came up with the Void, and originally his powers were just like the dark matter would repel like regular matter. Like if you take a magnet and put it to the same poles, it pushes the magnet. He does that with all matter. It's antimatter versus matter. And then we added the element where like Danny, it also gives you hallucinations and nightmares just from being within the vicinity of it. So like if it helped justify the dream sequence for Danny too. Originally that was just going to be a pure result of ecto energy, which I would argue still makes sense, but tying that to also him being drowned in the Void's dark matter added an extra like visual reasoning for why it's happening.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, he's this big nightmare, gross reality, like, well, not reality, like more matter warping, nightmare-inducing, horrifying alien that communicates exclusively in hell screams. And I love the name too. Like he's not Void, he's like the Void.
The Void.
Like I'm
When you said it, it reminded me of the Dr. Animal name. When you had just said it here, the way you said it.
Yeah, he has more aura. He has more aura.
Oh yeah, Devoid. Yeah.
It does look like something you'll find in the Null Void, though. It looks like a creature you'll find deep in the Null Void.
Is there an And Beyond episode about it?
You know what? Yeah.
Really?
I
You
think,
just guessed the next And Beyond episode.
I think I could say this. I know we've been a little liberal with our patrons and members, but I do believe we did officially at some point. There's some public record out there of me saying this, so I feel comfortable saying it here. The Void species, the Pesadilla, do have an integral part of And Beyond the movie coming out. So you're gonna learn a lot more about the Void as well.
Okay.
Hey man, we've been thinking about reacting to, because And Beyond, I watched a couple of them, like the Ghost Zone one and the Kenneth, like the Speedster one, because all three of those aliens are my favorite. Shout out them.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been thinking about watching all those. And
Yeah, we are.
honestly, I feel like when we do that and the movie comes out, we definitely got to give Big Bro Ash on because
100%.
he I love
For
him and
real.
all his contributions to y'all to the Ink Tank. Basically, especially as you continue to talk to us, tell us how much he's been involved.
I think
Yeah,
it'd be cool to get the entire ink tank like when that drops, like not just like the entire like the main trio or I don't know, like the entire crew on that. That'd be great.
I would love to do that myself just for regular ink tank stuff. It's just always
Mm,
tricky because schedules and time zones, which I'm sure you're
Mhm.
yeah.
all aware of.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we've so far we only know for sure we can meet for like 1 or 2 hours a week, which we use for our meeting times. Unless we
Fair
plan
enough.
very far in advance, it's usually just me, Ash, and Kellen because our schedules seem to line up the easiest. But whenever we
Fair.
can get Hershey and Fro on, we always try to do more stuff with them. But yeah,
All y'all boys
it'd
are
be
dope.
yeah,
Hershey's
they're
the best, yeah.
fantastic. Hershey was definitely at ground zero developing 5YL, and Fro was the one who requested me to draw Ben and Danny in the first place, and kind of kickstarted this whole mental path I was on, anyways. And he's had some pretty fun contributions to it as well. Every now and then he'll throw us an idea, and we'll be like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
put it in.
I really love to
Yeah.
get into to getting to know and talk to all the other members. That's why I wanted in a video I did a while back where I talked to a bunch of y'all. I wanted to try to get them on as well because I feel like when people hear the Ink Tank, they really see you and then Ash. It's kind of like I gotta be like, y'all know it's more than them, right? Yeah, I feel like that's why it's good to put the spotlight on y'all to really
Bro,
recognize that
Hershey
I'm
there's
or
like
sorry.
a
Ash,
whole
Killian. Yeah.
We're always trying to
you
fight
know
that. Like,
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally put all
Like
of our faces
I'm
in
sorry, I
our
don't want to cut
banner
you off, but I
recently.
love
Yeah.
that you've been letting some of them do other videos. That's so fire.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I encourage it all the time, and for years I was trying to get everybody to make more videos, even without me entirely. Recently, we've really figured out how to do it. There was always a lot of variables and moving factors, but we're finally at a place where it feels like the whole ink tank is stepping forward, and we all have a presence on this platform. Um, I was just saying, I literally made all of our banners, all five of our faces, because I'm really trying to emphasize, like, it's not just me,
Cooked.
folks.
So
And
good.
people get us confused a lot, especially, like, we start every video introducing ourselves. I'll be like, hey, it's Kerr the artist, and then he'll introduce his drawing matrices with, like, I'm OR Ash, and then I'll see a comment later be like, this is Kuro's ultimate blocks or something. I'll be like, that literally isn't me, though. That's Ryan, or
Yeah,
OR Ash. Like,
the banner, like I like the banner because it quite has you all in it, but it also has all your shows in it, like 5YL, Freeze
yep.
Frame, Beyond, the Drawing Matrix, like that. That's a good banner right there, my man. You
Yeah.
cooked with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I love working in this team, and the more I'm able to get people to recognize the full scale of the ink tank and the full team beyond myself, always feels like a victory.
Of course, definitely. We gotta shout out all the bros because they're
Yep.
just as much a part of this as you are.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Um, I don't know how much time we got left, so I think I'm gonna forget my question, and I want to try to kick off some of the questions in the chat. I do want to answer. I do want to read off this first one because I promised my goat, my boy, in the chat, I would get him
Is it
get
Ducks?
his spotlight with you. Yes,
Ah.
Ducks, the artist of Absolute Ben 10 said, for Kuro, how does it feel having been sort of the first fan comic, or at least the originator that started it all? Genuinely inspired me and tons of other fan comics since. We really grew up on 5YL, which is so true. Like I said, I've been reading this shit since I was like in 8th grade or middle school. Maybe even, who knows, bro.
Hey,
And now I'm
shout out
22 with a
to
beard.
the duck.
Oh, I forgot there
No,
were
that
sound effects here. Oh shit.
yeah, sorry, that's Ryan getting to me. He's always no, that's awesome. Honestly, it does feel it always feels a little bit silly whenever I try to talk about it more seriously, because it's like at the end of the day we're talking about fanfics online, but the fact that it does have that impact and that inspiration, that's what makes it more real. Like, I'm not just putting something out there. Like, people are inspired by this, people connect with this, they love it. I've gotten messages where people like have chosen their careers based on being inspired by my content, so it does feel a bit like a responsibility to make sure it's satisfying. I think satisfying is always the right word. Like, I can try to make it good, exciting, great, whatever, but I want it to feel like people investing so much of their time and attention and love into this. It should feel strong. And I look at the communities that got built, like not just the Ink Tank Discord server, but like the Reddit's, Twitter, everything. There's all these communities, and it seems like Five Whale and the Ink Tank is a very big part of people finding these communities and building these connections, and friendships are made, relationships are made, career opportunities are made. So it's nice to know that all of the difficulties and hurdles I've gone through making this comic, which is a whole other story in itself, but ultimately it hasn't been easy, for a multitude of reasons. But just knowing, like, it does matter. Like, I can't just stop, and that's a good thing. I can't just stop and put it down and quit and cancel and say, fuck it, I'm done with it. Like, this is I made it an important part of so many people's lives, so I feel like I have to keep going and make it worth it. So it feels great, but it also feels like a responsibility.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, I've been reading this shit since I was like a kid. But before I even like got to high school. So it's like I really like it means a lot to me, for real. And especially because, like, as I've grown up and got into the content space, collab with y'all in the first place, which really put my channel on, and then now making my own comic and looking at it for inspiration. It's sort of I bet it feels so surreal for you, because even somebody as small as me who gets those DMs like, "Hey man, you're a big inspiration," and it's like somebody like me, I'd be like, "Oh wow, I am." And for you to influence basically an entire community of practically has to be roughly maybe a million. Maybe I'm still in a high, but like tons of people I bet it feels so surreal.
It definitely does. And like, yeah, I mean, we're not like, millions of subscribers big, but it's still like, even certain view counts, like however many people who's watching the stream right now, like, think of that physically. Think about sitting in a room with every single one of those people looking at you. Like, that's important. That matters. And I will get a lot of messages and comments about what Five Whale does for people, and I sort of think about the people that inspired me growing up. Like, I always go to Dwayne McDuffie, because he was one of my biggest inspirations growing up.
Shout out to
It's
Goat,
such
man.
yeah.
Go.
And I think about, what if one day he literally just said, I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. Like, I'm over it. I'm tired. This is too hard. This sucks. Like, and how much that would crush me and all of his fans and everybody, just being like, yeah, you're a hero. The guy you looked up to just said, you know what? I'm sick of this. This is too hard. I'm giving up.
I'll be twisting and turning in my bed when we don't get a breakdown for a week. I'll be
I'm like, well, I can't do that. Like, people look up to what we do and everything.
Yeah,
they care about this. They care so much.
Yeah.
So.
People legit, you're the reason keeping like the community alive, my man. Like, because you're like
literally
comic and
I
all
feel
that.
like everybody, like, I don't know where Gray was when back there, but I feel like literally me, him, and so many other creators do not get the even if the Ben 10 scene is still small on YouTube, we don't do what we do now if it wasn't for you. So
That's
I really want to give you your flowers, bro. I really want to give you your flowers, because
You're the best, man.
when I first stumbled upon y'all channel, man, it was like coming across a thing I always prayed for. I always wanted somebody to talk about Ben 10, because it always felt like it was only me, even though it was a big show, who really understood and loved the show as much as I did. And so when I seen y'all talk about it, when you started the breakdowns, it was like it felt like I was given something great. And so it's just a testament to all the work y'all put in, all y'all. So gotta give y'all the same props.
Hey,
and just to also, because like I said, so many people look up to you. I'm not gonna try to start anything, but I want to know: do you read others' fan comics? You can just keep it there, yes or no, because I don't want people to.
I do as much as I can.
He asking you read his
I
comic.
will say
No, that's not what I meant.
I did read Absolute Ben 10. I'd love to talk to you about this towards the end of the stream. I do have some things I want to ask you. Even.
Hey yo.
But I will say I try to, but it's just I'm always drawing or editing, that I miss out so much. I haven't even ran my own Discord server in years because I just don't have the time. So
Oh, wow.
as much as I try desperately to be a part of the community, I've joined so many Ben 10 servers, subreddits. I check the Twitters because whenever I'm like in my videos and I'm like, oh, people think this, I want it to be real. Like I actually looked out and read what people are thinking and saying. I'm not just saying shit. So I try to be as involved and aware about exactly what people are thinking and feeling about the Ben 10 community, which includes the fan
Yeah.
comics. But
Yeah,
I haven't read all of
I
them.
love that. I love that about you and everybody else because I see even on videos that aren't mine, I go to the comments of the Benta videos. I see y'all commenting down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I,
because
I
it's
love
important.
True support.
yeah. I
True
love that
support, man.
a group as big as y'all, individually and collectively, still make time for the little guys. Like I said, y'all them boys.
Absolutely. That's the community right there. Like we want to be a part of you all. We don't want to just it's flattering when people look up to us, but we want to be sitting right there with you, like in the trenches, like being a fan of Ben 10 and Danny Phantom and all that. Yeah, so I've read Absolute Ben 10. I read I think the first couple of issues of the Chakatrix one. And I see fan art
Trick.
of a I don't know if the Carnatrix has like a comic.
Not
I see
yet.
art of it all the time.
Not
yeah,
yet.
So yeah, and I
Gray's
see.
sad right now, man. But Gray keeps up with all the Omnitrixes. My man has all of them.
Yeah, honestly, great. Your videos has really kept me in the loop. Like you'll be talking about tricks I never even heard before. And I'll be like, hey, if Gray's making a video on it, let's see what he's got.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a really good source at talking about the community. With your channel and your content. So I really appreciate you trying to like put everybody up and like shine a spotlight on it. So that certainly helps me being aware of what's going on in case I'm like too busy, like 3 a.m. drawing like freaking page 148 of whatever whatever the hell this is.
You gotta do it because if you don't, who will?
Yeah.
If you stop, I'll stop.
I mean, all three of us make Ben 10 content in a way, which is pretty good.
Yeah, and it's important. You never know who's watching. I mean, even as you get a couple thousand views on your video, that's like just picture those people. You get a couple thousand people looking at you, like they made time out of their day to see what you had to say, what you're thinking of. So anything is
I still
important, so.
don't get over that. that's the
Yeah,
it's surreal.
It's crazy. So like, yeah, I'll check out things with like any view counts. Like view counts don't matter to me. Artistic ability doesn't matter to me. Video quality doesn't matter to me. If you're going out of your way to try to talk about something you love that I can relate to, I want to be there for it.
Yo, word, man.
I just gotta find the time.
Yo, Gray and Dan working on the biggest Ben 10 video. I'm making a video on all the games, dude, right now with these three.
That's gonna be a hurdle. Good luck with that.
Yeah, like I said, bro, you are a big inspiration. I'm literally working on a video right now where I review all of the franchise, like literally season by season, episode by episode. So
it's a big franchise. So.
Yeah, it gives people to watch, man.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
People like that.
It's fun, man.
Yeah.
You guys want to? Should I read one more question?
Yeah, if you have any more,
I got a bunch.
Questions,
this one's from Twinklestar Pro. Will there ever be solo generator Rex content on the Ink Tank? That show is underrated.
At this time, I can say we have no plans, but nothing's impossible. We've pretty much pivoted to being like, look, we gotta finish 5YL. Like it's been like 8 years, so we took a like 5-month hiatus. We've been pouring our heart and soul trying to get this done. We're not even thinking about anything else. So I feel like I couldn't even tell you until next year when my brain can officially take the foot off the gas pedal and be like, okay, now what else can we do? But it's taken up so much mental space that I can't even think of anything else other than that.
Fair enough.
Fair.
It's also so weird to talk about Generator X. I've wanted to like do like an extensive kind of like review the entire thing first, but it's such like a especially because like the community you're in, like Generator X, that's just weird.
Yeah.
I made a video talking about the show like a while ago, but like it's such an obscure show that I don't really not obscure. It's such like an underrated, unappreciated show that people don't really remember. Like I don't really know how you really tackle something like that.
Just like Ben 10, you got to make a Generator Rex channel, man. We got to get another. There got to be somebody making a Generator Rex content out there, bro. We got to find that guy.
Yeah, Rex certainly deserves a lot of attention too, because
Yeah.
I got into Rex after it ended, and once I finally saw the show all the way through for the first time, I was kicking myself for not like watching it as it came out. I was like, this is one of the biggest mistakes I've made, like as a fan of animation, is not getting into the Rex when it was happening, because it's such a fantastic show.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
show.
like it does a lot of things even better than Ben
Yeah.
10
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
terms of connectivity and storytelling.
Don't
I
blame
watched it
yourself,
when it was.
Kuro.
I watched it when it was airing,
Same.
and like,
Yeah.
dude, like the quality between that and Ultimate Alien at the time, it was like, yo, this the show right here. That's why I'm glad I
Yes,
watched it live, bro.
When was
that's gotta be crazy seeing that in real time. That's now that you're
what?
much more true of a fan than me in that regard.
Yeah, because I think it's most people with Ultimate Alien. Like Ultimate Alien's kind of like there's some 50-50 episodes, but here and there, and then with like Generator Rex, the quality was like a little bit more
It's such
better
an
story
airtight
wise.
show with a plot. It's
Yeah.
it's so good. Like
Yeah.
Was it airing
I
like one after the other? Like was it Ultimate and then
I don't remember how they aired, but I know they aired on the same day. I think
Yeah,
both
they did.
Ultimate Alien and Generator Rex were on the same day.
You'd have Ultimate Alien come on
They did.
first, and then Generator X's episode would come on after, I think.
Yeah, that they both came out April something, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question. This one's from Brooklyn Guy. Greetings, Kuro. Are you ever going to do a prequel of 5YL exploring the scrapped road trip in Omniverse?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to say no. At least with 5YL, because it's such a taxing project, I don't know if I could ever do something like this again. There's the two biggest factors against 5YL is we don't own any of the IPs. So aside from like revenue off YouTube, which I'm sure all of y'all know really isn't like that crazy. Like you can get
Yeah.
some views, but it's not like,
Unless you're Moist
you know,
critical.
unless you're Moist critical, I guess. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like I mean, revenue certainly helps, but it's not like I can like be like, oh, I made all this money, now I can put it right into 5YL, which I try to, or like Patreon or YouTube memberships. But like you really can't make any money off of 5YL, so it's like hours and days, months, weeks of effort, and financially you have nothing to show for it. And like, I have bills and I need to eat and everything. So working on yet another IP I don't own to the size and scale of 5YL, with all the voice actors, the animation, the artwork, the collaborations, it seems like this is kind of a once in a lifetime sort of thing. If I was going to do anything else with the 5YL universe, it would either have to be not nearly on as large of a scale, or I would do something with this type of love and care, but it would be an IP that we own.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That does, like, I do have like a short follow up. Do you have something cooking that is like Kuro the artist or Ink Tank made original project?
Yeah, I
I know y'all
I
mentioned
just
it
can't
in the
talk
video.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
y'all mentioned it in the video, but you didn't really elaborate on it, and that's always had me. That's something I've always been thinking about, because the little kid in me is like, they're gonna stop talking about Benton. Oh my god! But I am
Oh,
excited
yeah.
to see I am excited to see what
we're
y'all
always
cook.
gonna, at least with YouTube. See, the thing is, we're thinking about the future of Ink Tank, and we're even looking beyond YouTube. So I can't speak too much about it, especially because I don't want to spoil our plans. But
Of course.
we're planting like 4 or 5 different seeds, so that by the time 5YL is over, we're hoping at least one grows. But we have a lot of avenues that we're looking into. We have a lot of original content, but at least within the confines of YouTube, we're always going to be talking about Ben 10. The second that Dynamite comic drops, I'm going to be making videos on it as long as that comic
Oh
goes.
yeah, same
Me
here.
and you
course.
both,
Yeah.
brother.
Same here,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I
we
gotta,
gotta talk
I
about
gotta
it.
get my motion up so they send me a review copy.
Yeah.
I gotta really lock in. Because
Yeah,
I see that Danny Phantom book over there. I was
Oh
a
yeah.
teeny bit
Oh,
jealous.
you mean this?
I was a
Yeah,
teeny bit.
This comes out next month,
Ooh.
November 4th.
Oh,
but I have a
wow.
review
I like
video coming out on November.
Here I
1st.
am, just stuck with the first.
Hey, still good. Yeah. No, I just recorded the interview with the author, Gabby, yesterday. I just
Shout
gotta
out, Gab.
I gotta sort through all the footage and edit it and make it look all fancy. But yeah, I'm sorry, I lost the topic. What were we talking about?
He just asked you if there's anything original Ink Tank stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the short answer is yes. It's just I don't want to talk about it until it's time. But we're making a lot of that's actually also what's taken a lot of time. Like another reason for the hiatus is we're working on stuff like for after 5YL that we can't even talk about it. So it's just like it's been a very very busy hectic year for the Ink Tank. And at least for now we have nothing to show for it because it's very far in the future.
Yeah, completely
Yeah.
fair.
I'm excited. I'm gonna always be here for y'all.
Hey,
Always. I'm gonna let
appreciate
you
it.
know I'm excited. When I heard y'all was making an Ambient movie, I was like, damn boy, y'all leveling up. It's so
Oh, yeah.
I'm so geeked for that.
I'll be
I have a
watching it in
question.
theaters, yo.
I have a question from my Twitter. This comes from Aiden Spine Groovy says, besides Ben and Danny, which other heroes would you like to write for? Like if somebody from any comic company anywhere said, you get to make
Anywhere.
whatever you want. You get to make whatever you want and we'll let you write it. Don't matter what character it is, whoever you want. Which one you saying?
This is more of a show than a character, but I'd love to give Code Lyoko a spin. I feel like that.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah.
a
That's
sleeper.
that's a
That's
deep
a
cut
sleeper.
show, dude.
That's a deep cut. That's
call them-
real ball knowledge. That's
we call
real
them the
ball
forehead.
knowledge.
We call them the forehead gang because they got all big foreheads.
That's real ball knowledge.
Yeah,
That's
man.
real ball
You
knowledge.
barely hear people
Just don't
talk
watch-
about that show.
Just don't watch the live action reboot where they all humans and they somehow go into the game of their CGI. It's super weird, man.
Yeah, that was Evolutions. That got
Yeah,
canceled
Evolution.
after season 1 on a cliffhanger. So I was like, oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
That's real ball
Yeah,
knowledge. Shout
Kolyoko
out
would be fun,
Kolyoko.
or like if it was just a character. See, there's a lot of characters I'd love to be involved with, but I'd have to. I don't know any character as well as I know Ben or Danny, but it's also because I haven't tried. Like I haven't been studying them like I have Ben and Danny.
I think
So if
Kolyoko is a group of characters.
Yeah.
if I put the same level of time and investment, and I didn't like if I didn't have to start tomorrow, like I had time to like really learn the characters. I'd love to work with characters like Daredevil. I love Daredevil. He would be really fun.
Shout out Big Daredevil.
Yeah, or I always forget everything I've ever watched when I do this. Or like if BoJack Horseman ever came back, I'd love to get involved in that somehow. But I mean, they're next level writers. I'd really have to up my game and like do some studying if I was gonna work on that. But yeah, Daredevil, BoJack Horseman, or Code Lyoko. Those are my answers.
That's such a crazy group of characters. It's like
yeah, right. Like
that's
Name that-
that's the
like,
ball
Getting that
knowledge.
on the
Gotta
board,
have.
bro. It's such a
Yeah.
strange pick, but I can see it, dude.
Yeah.
Do we got any more comments that we did?
Most of these are reply backs, so they're like kind of reacting. You have to go. I gotta go way up. So, do you have any more Twitter comments from your post?
I have one more. This one's from Razor Rival.
Okay.
What's your character and villain writing or creation process? And also, what do you think makes a good villain?
They always have to be. I whenever I write for a villain, I always write them as if they're the main character. Not even in the sense that they think they're a main character, or they even think they're right. Like, not every villain thinks they're right. Some of them are just freaking evil. Divinity and Vlad definitely think they're right, though. So I'm just saying that's not just a standard hard and fast rule. But whenever I write for them, I act like the whole story revolves around them, and I need to give them the justifications and motives that I would any other character. Sometimes I'll even like act out the scenes like in my office, like out loud, like I'm doing a one-man show or something, just to like feel it out, hear what the dialogue sounds like, and also for the artwork, what kind of poses am I making when they're talking. So just truly trying to feel and embody these characters. Like if I'm writing for a villain and I get very invested in their mindset and I'm writing their dialogue and I read it out and I perform it and I feel like the connection and the tingle, I feel like that really helps. Like, oh yeah, like he freaking means this when he's saying it. Just getting in their head, and a lot of it is nuance. Just, you know, some people will say things and mean something different, which is obvious, but it's tricky when writing a comic because you lose a lot of that nuance. You don't get like the tone of their voice, or any music or composition. It's all reliant in the dialogue, the facial expression, even sometimes the shot composition. How close or far away from your character are you? What are we looking at? So it's just always treating them like characters. Like they're not the villain, they're not the hero. It's you when you're working on them, you become them for a bit, and you try to bring that out of them. So if they're saying something and they don't mean it, you still kind of have to get that point across. Like, why are they being closed off? Why are they lying? Why won't they just say this? And just truly understanding their motives rather than being like, he's the villain, but we care about the hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you on that one. I really like stuff like depictions of stuff like have you ever watched the movie Seven? It has Morgan Freeman and
Oh man, yeah.
Brad
I think
Pitt.
that's been at least like a good 10 years or so since I've seen it. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. But like stuff that has like really good depictions of villains that seem to like be relatively like sensible and are like actual people and complex and all of that jazz. Like I really love that personally. So I can see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
And also sometimes as a writing tip, sometimes it helps to create more not just backstory, but like character quirks, like their favorite color, their favorite thing to do, their favorite music. Just like really know them, and you don't ever have to say any of that, or put it in the story. But just knowing that and hearing and thinking it as you're writing helps a lot. Like I wrote a whole backstory about Eon's life on Concordia before, the universe destroyed itself. Like, what was his family like? What was his history? Who was he with? Or like how does he react to everybody around now? Like, what does he think of Vlad? What's his relationship with him like? Why did he choose him of all people? And just getting in that mindset when I'm writing these lines. You don't have to know any of that, but it helps make the character feel more believable when you're writing them. And if you can get like the semblance that this character is a character without listing out, okay, well, here's my history and everything, then I feel like you've succeeded in that regard.
Yeah, I feel you.
Appreciate
I think
that, bro. I'm gonna take that with me when I'm in the studio.
I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna use that? I love that. Last question, and then we top it. You guys down?
Yeah, that sounds good. We are getting towards the 2 hour mark, so I was gonna say we can take one more question, and then I did want to talk Absolute Ben 10 for a couple minutes, just
Okay.
because
You're the famous one in this chat, my man. You're not just Kuro. Yeah.
Totally.
I'll read this one. It's probably be a quick response. DJ, this from DJ. Speaking of, is Kuro ever gonna see the Secret Saturdays once he's free? That's a short, good show and still part of Ben 10 lore to explore, sort of.
Yeah, the once I'm free is key.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They specify that. At least they took into account how busy you are, man.
Yeah, Crystal's been barking up that tree for a while for me, and I'm not against it, but I mean,
I know. I seen Crystal in the chat. Keep barking up that tree.
What's up, Crystal? How's it going?
Keep barking up that tree.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just got to get around to it, but it seems interesting, especially since I did that breakdown. Like, it sounds like there's so much more to the show than I gave it credit for, so it seems worth checking out.
Yeah, I've never watched the show before.
I've been there before. I watched the show years ago, and I've like spotted some episodes here and there when I want to go back and watch my favorite episode. But I like for us creators, especially because all I do is just write videos and just focus on stuff. So that once you're free is really key. Because I'm not the type of person who can just put a show in the background and ignore it. Unless it's like a documentary or something. Like if I'm watching a show with storyline, I have to sit there and be locked in.
I'm the exact same way. That's why I don't even watch anything. Like, I stream every Tuesday, and I always get like, "Have you seen this? Have you played that? Have you watched this?" I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, I haven't.
No.
I haven't seen shit. I'm not playing.
Have you
nothing.
not?
I'm
Have you
working on
not
5
seen?
OL."
Have you not seen Peacemaker yet?
Yeah, man.
That's pretty much it, yo.
Yeah.
That's all the question. That's all the
Yo,
interesting
word.
question.
Oh wait, yo, homie. Akira wants to ask you about. You want to do it on the stream? Because
Yeah, of course.
Definitely. I did want to bring it up. I didn't want to like put you on the spot and deconstruct Absolute Ben 10, but I felt it was necessary to bring it up.
Cook me like I be cooking his coffee.
Yeah, I mean because it has been popping off. Like it's been getting a lot of attention, a lot of videos, and
Oh man.
hearing you throughout the stream, knowing that the Ink Tank's content played a big part in motivating for that. I felt like I wanted to pay it forward and give shout outs to your comic and say that I feel like it's great to see uh, fr- another addition to the Ben 10 lore in the community, honestly, because everybody makes AUs, everybody wants to make comics and everything, but it's rare you see people actually get that far. Like you're writing a story, you got an issue out there, people are responding. Even that first step, a lot of people never even get to that step.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to
And
give you props for that.
thank you. Thank you.
So I did have one question for you.
What up, bro?
How how far do you see this going? Like, are you writing to
That's
three
a good
issues
question.
or
That's a good question.
yeah?
See, the thing is, so I always have to start off whenever I talk about the absolute Benson. I did it when I went on this other podcast. I have to shout out Duck Z. I have to shout out Ducks, the artist, because he really. I don't know if the whole thing came about in a pitch video I made back when the absolute universe of DC stuff like first was announced, and I watched the
Yeah, I
video
saw that.
from Troy Boyo, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do this for Ben 10 because I like what he's talking about, and I read the first issue, I believe, of Batman. It either came out a little bit. It came out around the video. I don't know before or after, but I was like, yeah, I fuck with this. So I made a video kind of following the guidelines of what I knew when I researched, and I did that. And then everybody thought it was cool and all, And then once the Absolute Universe started getting more issues, it eventually hit the Ben 10 space with the wake of my video too. So it was something I didn't really think of. I didn't put that much thought into it, of like what would it be beyond like the pitch video. So when I was approached to turn it into something, I was like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
this first chapter, like this one and the next one, because I wrote a long ass script. Even Duck told me like, bro, this is a lot. So after this is done, uh I am gonna like I have been sitting down and kind of like brainstorming out it like in the future, because I wrote this as a sort of pilot, if you could say, sort of a way to get people hooked and understand the idea of what I'm trying to do here before I go brainstorming an entire plot and all that type of stuff. So ever since Doug's gave me the okay, like, yeah, we doing this big time, I've been kind of sitting down and thinking where I want to take the story, who I want to be in the story, kind of expanding on the ideas I also said in my pitch video. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm excited to see where you go with it. I like the design of the characters. So big shout outs to Dux, your artist. And the writing, the writing speaks a lot to like, you can tell like a big Ben 10 fan wrote this. Like this
Yeah.
isn't just like a run of the mill. Like I can see that. I can see the references. I can see you're trying to make Ben seem more of a the well-rounded character we know today versus like
yeah,
just a standard character. Um,
yeah. Like
if I had
everything you talked about, my fault.
No, it's all good. I want to hear you.
I was just gonna say, like, especially hearing what you talked about the whole writing stuff and like how what all goes into it. That's been one of my biggest things, because, like it's like it. There's a lot of pressure when you sit in that writer's chair. That's kind of a question I want to ask you too. But like, there's a lot of pressure in that writer's chair to really like deliver something that will be well received and sort of show that you know what you're talking about. So I read a lot of the comments. I take a lot of the feedback. I know a lot of people are like, "Why is Ben such a jerk?" Yada yada yada. But it's like, it's that,
Mostly from
it's
Gray.
that feeling of trying to take what the show did and kind of represent it from Ben, both as a kid and the traits he kept as he grew up, and also make it feel different. Because the whole thing about the universe, the absolute thing that I'm taking from is that it does have those differences, and that's a challenge like in itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely did not want to go too edgy. I said it in my video where I announced it. I don't want to make him too edgy. I want to make him feel real. Like, I want to make it feel like a real person who's responding to a situation like this, especially because it comes fresh off of a situation that's making him feel like this.
No, I can definitely see that in the first issue. Like there's a lot of sentimentality with this Ben. He seems to be going through a rough time at this moment. If I could offer one critique, I
Throw it at
I
me.
I would love to get to know this version of Ben more independent from knowing he's a Ben variant. if that makes
Mm.
sense. Sort of like what I was talking with Five Whale earlier, where you got to earn the trust of your audience to know that this character, like with Five Whale, I try to write Five Whale Ben. If you didn't have anything beforehand, he still feels well rounded. And with Absolute Ben, I want to get him a little bit more, get to know him a little bit more before I can truly sympathize with him in a way that would make the emotional beats hit harder. Like
Mm-hmm.
uh, it use like I keep going back to Five Whale, but that's what this stream is. Like
Yeah,
it
no, you
feels
good.
like the first issue is sort of like we got episode 7 in episode 1 almost. Like I want to know this Ben before I can understand like why he's so hurt and why he's upset.
Yeah.
But if I mean maybe that's a part of your story. Like I don't want to deconstruct your process. Like if this is where it needs to start and this sets the tone, like maybe we're not supposed to know this Ben that well because he's so broken and he's trapped under his emotions, losing Grandpa Max, that he can't truly be himself.
Yeah,
But
that's honestly no, because I'm making a joke that like people say stuff, but I've thought of it the whole time. But that is actually something that I do, that I've actually taken into consideration because that's kind of why it starts off how it does with you kind of not really it reminds me a lot of like I took a lot of myself from how I went through some things when it's like I went through what Ben's going through and kind of like how you isolate yourself where you kind of just remove yourself from the things that made you who you are essentially. So that's kind of like what the comic is supposed to build to. I said it in my pitch video, so I'm fine saying it here. The arrival of the Omnitrix and what it means for those of you, so I'm not gonna say anything more, right? But like the Omnitrix is supposed to set Ben back onto that character progression where it's forcing him to now up his like it's forcing him out of this shell he's in. You know, he Ben can no longer run from his surroundings. He has to now move on because the Omnitrix will not let him stay put anymore. So it's kind of him, it's kind of him starting off that way, and then like he builds that self esteem. He becomes more of well, he's still a character, but you know he kind of
yeah.
that dark, you know, that he adds more color to his character. That's why I've been throwing in all the hints about you know his sports background. He throw it in like the fact that he's friends with JT and Cash, kind of putting those things there, and so. As the plot starts moving now with the Omnitrix on him, and he has to navigate now that way, those things come back into play.
Yeah, no, that's I can certainly see that writing style within these first couple of pages, which is why I was like, well, maybe that's just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say I feel like I'm understanding Absolute Ben more than I'm sympathizing with him. But this is
Yeah.
still issue 1. Like, I'm not asking the world out of the first
Mhm.
issue, which you know you said it was
Yeah.
the pilot issue, but I think it's on a great path right now, and it can certainly you know keep going and build it to something even greater and become a staple in the Ben 10 fandom. So you
Thank
know
you.
You
I
go,
wish him the
Dan.
best of luck with
Boy.
it.
You go,
Thank
Dan.
you.
Take it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Take it in,
That's
bro.
why
You
that's
deserve it,
exactly why
man.
like I said it before, like I'm open to any amount of feedback. I'm here to listen because this is the first time I've done something like this. Like so writing in a
Yeah.
way like writing this, that's why I'm open to any criticism the same way you've been open to any criticism especially me, throw at you. Because the point is to get better and the point is for it to become something like that. I want the fans to enjoy what I'm doing. Not to the point I'm gonna change it so they like it, but to the
Yeah.
point where I'm making something cohesive and something enjoyable, you know, and of course respecting the source material because with the absolute thing attached to this project, those misconceptions about that line of comics and what people expect now from this have come over to this. That's why I made it clear in my video, like this is still supposed to be something Ben 10 related. Like you're supposed to feel that this is a Ben 10 project. I don't want to make Ben this super edgy, like his aliens are like don't even look like aliens. Like I
Yeah.
still want this to feel familiar. So yeah, that's why I definitely love hearing feedback and criticism, like because that's what it's out there for. It's rather to be criticized and enjoyed. So I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate you bringing that to my knowledge.
Of course, yeah. Another suggestion I can make is locations and settings can also, and again, that's also on your artist from drawing it, can play a lot into the narrative. Like in the final post about it, when he has that flashback of Max helping him swim, it got me thinking it would have been interesting if in the earlier scene with him and Gwen, if instead of that happening in the classroom, that happened like at a pool or something and Ben's swimming to connect the threads that like you establish Ben's a swimmer. This is something that he does, but then later on, when he has the flashback, you think, oh, he does this because this is something that Max introduced him to, and it's a way for him to stay connected with him.
Yeah.
And all that could just be said
That's
by where.
yeah, that's kind of the location thing too. Because I was mad at myself. Like I said, all this was it was a lot of pressure. So I was like, looking at it back now, I'm like, fuck. I wish I didn't put him in that damn forest like the first episode, or kind of like taking those extra liberties to make the location different. But what you said about that's kind of what I've been trying to do as well. Like, there's a piece of dialogue about it where Ben talks about where he lashes out at Gwen. He's like, everything I'm passionate about, Max taught me, and that's like where I had that flashback of them playing baseball. Because like I said, like this, I love the idea behind that Ben is a big sports guy, no matter what sport it is. So that's kind of where I want. That's kind of like one of the key things I want to keep about this character, because especially with how I'm gonna tie it into the actual story. So yeah, so I definitely get what you're saying there, but I think it's definitely some more now like show with the tale, like kind of making everything come together, because that's definitely some stuff I've thought about. It's kind of relate to that. Like, oh yeah, Ben is really big baseball guy, sports guy, because Max was also there to help him. Max taught him how to swim. I'm using those things to really build that connection.
Yeah. No, I think you've accomplished a lot. So any critiques is like it's more of afterthoughts, or like, oh well, this and that. Again, I just want to encourage the project in of itself. Like there should be more Ben 10 fan content. Like I love the legacy that 5YL has, but I don't want it to be the only thing. If 10 years from now there haven't been like 5 more major comics inspired by 5YL, I feel like it should be an opportunity to grow, not something that will be like, oh well, we'll never be 5YL. Like, I mean, fuck 5YL. Like, don't even think about it. Like, do your own shit, make yourself proud, and then make your audience happy, and that's all.
Yeah,
you really need to
I
do.
feel the same way. That's why me and Dux were so on board with kind of like throwing a lot of shout outs in there to other people, to sort of inspire other people to check out what else is out there. And that's what also made me that's what also made us want to put the fan art section and all that type of stuff, to encourage basically what you said, to make people should create more, especially in this community. There's so many talented people. There's so much talent here that I definitely want to see more people create, especially people who feel like they have their own sort of vision. I see a lot of stuff out there. People pitch their own ideas for Ben 10, and I'm like, well, if you have the talent, you have the vision, go out there and make it. Trust me, I would love to see whatever you think an absolute Ben 10 will be, because mine is not the only one that should exist. So, I mean, so I encourage everybody who feels like they have a vision to go out there and do it. And that's kind of, you nailed it on the head.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I love that response, honestly. And yeah, I just wanted to give some quick attention to Absolute Ben 10 while I had you here. So I appreciate you let me shine some light on it. What I know we're trying to wrap things up, but one thing I also do want to say is, Gray, I know you are planning a 5YL video. I don't want to influence at all, but if there was something I could do to help with it, I love collaborating with people. But I also would like to maybe encourage rewatching a couple of episodes based on the streams. I am a little hesitant. You might have missed a key detail here and there. So just for like a fair perspective, I just I'm just saying, like, if I would hate for the media to come out and be like, well, why did this happen? And like it happened, but you missed it during the live stream.
Yeah,
so
time to watch some Danny Phantom, Gray.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. But yeah, I think this was a fantastic discussion, and I'm happy that I was able to find time for this. I'm thankful y'all were able to have me on here.
Dude, thanks for coming on, my man. Truly,
I mean, it's always a damn pleasure to talk to you, man.
Dude, I almost got nervous. I almost got nervous meeting it for the first time, dude. I was like in my head, like podcast anxiety or interview anxiety, dude.
No, it's all good. I mean, I'm just some dude, really. So it's I'm happy to talk to anybody, really.
Appreciate it, man.
We appreciate you, dude.
On.
But yeah,
shout out to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. I'll totally be hitting you up with any questions that I have. I'm gonna have to rewatch I'm gonna rewatch the 11 episodes, and I'm gonna try and watch some Danny Phantom, because
just me personally, when I did mine, I read it and I watched it. I don't think you've read it yet. I would probably read it too.
You'd
Yeah.
read it too? Okay. Okay, I'll do that
Yeah, that's
too.
what I did.
I'll do that
You
too.
might find a lot of differences between the comic and the motion comic, though. I will say that, especially. Oh, I actually am glad I'm catching you here. Don't read episode. Don't read chapter 12 before you watch the episode.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, that's the because when I was telling them about that when the comic is a little bit ahead of the motion
Yeah.
comic still, right? Yeah.
Yeah, episode 12 is coming out November 8th,
Mhm.
and then the motion comic and comic will be caught up. But I think if you haven't read chapter 12 yet, your best experience is watching the motion comic version first. Then you can go back and read it. Chapter 12 was it's probably the most different between the episode and the chapter. There was a lot of scenes that were rewritten. There was some scenes that were added, and yeah, without spoiling too much, the motion comic is the version of that part of the story. I feel like it's best to experience for the first time if you can.
Okay, okay. I'll hold off on that. I'll wait until November 8th then to
Awesome.
to take that in. But I'm probably gonna make the video before that, or maybe depends
That's
on how
totally
the.
fine.
Pardon?
I said, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Like maybe I'll just make another video about the episode 12 and just like review episode by episode as well. That would be like so sick.
I did think we
Yeah,
had
we
some
gotta-
good I think there were some good highlights during the stream. I think I would take some stuff from the stream too, because I really think we had a really good conversation here.
Yeah, I wanna
Yeah, do it
I
up. This footage is yours.
Yeah, I wanna bake this video up because it's my first as the guy who is the Phenomenatrix guy. This is my first like official talking about 5YL on the channel. Don't know why it took me so long, but I'm glad it did. I have better tools now, so it's good. I'll hit you up with questions if I have questions.
Gotta pay the
and-
grandfather his respect.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
sounds great.
So yeah. But
I think, man,
It'd be cool to
we-
it'd be cool to collab with you in the future, man. Because I do a lot of video game essays on my channel. So like I review like games. So it'd be cool to hit you up for like a Ben 10 related video if I can come up with something.
Yeah, shoot me a message.
Yeah.
I try to be very flexible with collabs. Yeah, I mean we can definitely talk more in detail about it after the stream. But yeah, I'm around. So
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
if we throwing collab ideas out there, big bro, Mad Ben Part 1 and 2 is my favorite episode. Just throw it out there.
that's coming up.
Just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. Any episode is really my favorite. You know, the ones you got remaining. That's all I'm saying.
That's you.
that would be so cool. But thank you
But-
for joining us. I mean, you guys don't
Yeah,
have
man.
anything else to say?
No, I mean, no, we had a good lengthy talk. I'm just giving the outro, man. You
Basking
know,
in the ambience.
karate
basking in the
artist, man. Thank you
ambience.
for joining us, Ink Tank member. Shout out all the Ink Tank boys. Like I said, man, y'all do some amazing work out there, and you know, a lot of this,
Yeah.
a lot of the community, it wouldn't be what it is without y'all. No matter how we feel about y'all projects, about y'all videos, we all owe it to y'all. So gotta appreciate everything you do. Gotta appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And yeah, we're excited to see 5YL episodes 12, 13 coming this November, this December, correct? And then 14 is the
Got the
finale that
Got the
comes
scoop
next
here,
year.
y'all.
Yep.
Got the scoop
Correct.
here.
Yeah. Hey, very excited to see all that. Very excited to see what you and your team continue in the future. But like I said, appreciate you for coming on and talking to us.
Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, anytime.
All right.